Hello and welcome on in to the 10-Pin Alley pregame show. Tonight, we got the Sauk County Bowl for you as Sauk Prairie is hosting Baraboo. I'm Rich Reynolds along with former Badger quarterback Mark Martinez. And Mark, I know when we talk about these two teams, no one's going to say, ooh, it's a highly rated contest. But what we do have is homecoming night, a gorgeous night for football, and two teams looking to kind of get some momentum going for next year.
Absolutely, and again, the seniors on both teams, this is their last year. They want to have memories to make, and tonight's going to be a battle between teams that aren't battling for the conference championship, but they want to win, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and for Sauk Prairie, we've been here now 3 years in a row, always on homecoming. They do such a great job, and it's been kind of an uneven year for them, especially in the fact that a few days before the season started, they got a brand new football coach.
Yeah, they got the rug kind of pulled out from underneath them. They had a Coach Lee who had a better teaching opportunity elsewhere, and he left, and the coaching staff had to kind of rise up and take over. It's been a little bit of a rebuilding year for them, but they're going to learn a lot from this year.
Yeah, the rebuilding year for them, a rebuilding year for the Thunderbirds as well, as it has been, it seems like that for a while. So for this team, for this program, how do you get to the next level? How do you get to the point where you start winning football games?
Well, you got to be consistent, and you got to know what you want to be as far as your identity is concerned on offense. Are you running? Are you throwing? Do you have some key playmakers? Can you take advantage of the talent that you do have? And can you build up some of those younger kids and get them ready ahead of schedule so that you can possibly get some wins out there?
Baraboo has been able to do it on the ground this year, Sauk through the air. We will talk to their head coaches about that next as the 10-Pin Alley pregame show rolls on right here from Sauk Prairie High School on 57 Sports. Welcome back to the 10-Pin Alley pregame show. Coach's time as we talk with the head coach of the Baraboo Thunderbirds, Steve Turkington. And Coach, still got that O on your record so far this year in the win column. What do you got to do tonight to get that first win of the season?
Well, we've got to get our offense going. Right now, you know, as far as up front, our offensive line play hasn't been real great. So we're going to try and give them some help, add some backs into the backfield to get the blocking going. And then our completion percentage has been down because we've relied on the pass. So we just got to get that offense going, and I think it's going to take us a long way in this game.
Coach Brock Turkington happens to be your son. Talk a little bit about what that coach-dad relationship is like during the season.
Well, I can tell you from my standpoint, you know, I treat him like any other player, but there's those moments where you feel like, hey, I'm talking to my own son, and so I think he thinks I have split personality because at one moment I'm talking to him as dad, and then the next minute I'm talking to him as coach. So I don't know if he's confused about our relationship, but it's been a joy. It's been fun to watch all these kids grow and learn, and particularly watching my son and his relationships with his teammates.
I would think you'd be harder on your own son, probably. I know I would be.
I definitely am.
So you know, we talked a little bit about the offense. Defensively, Sauk Prairie actually can throw the ball around a little bit. Right. How do you stop them tonight?
Well, we're going to have to play great coverage. I mean, they're going empty formations, 5 wide. And we're aware of that, so we've got to add extra defensive backs into the coverage. And always, you know, pressure never hurts. So if we can get some blitz pressure on that quarterback, he's going to have to get the ball out quick, and that's to our advantage.
Coach, it's good hitting weather tonight. Right. Good luck to you. Hopefully we'll see you after the game. Appreciate it. We will be back with the head coach of the Sauk Prairie Eagles right after this on the 10-Pin Alley pregame show on 57 Sports. Ten-Pin Alley pregame show rolls on right now as we bring in the head coach of the Sauk Prairie Eagles, Scott Schutt. And Coach, so far this season, haven't gotten that conference win that you've been looking for. What do you got to do tonight to put one in the win column?
You know, I think it's about putting a complete game together. Kids have been playing hard, but we start hard early and run out of energy, or we don't start early enough. So it's about, I think, putting an entire game together. And I'm confident that things will go well.
Coach, you had a little bit of an interesting start to your season, taking over as coach. Talk about what that transition was like for you and your coaching staff and how the players adapted.
You know, we all were part of the staff anyway, so that part went pretty well. It was a shock to get the call, but as I said to them, what do you say to that? I mean, I've been here my whole life. I'm not going to say no to being there for the kids and taking care of it. And then once we started the transition, we just decided offensively and defensively, we need to become who we are. The coaches that are in charge now, we have to eventually, meld the offense into what we're confident about, and same with the defense. And we've done that, I think pretty well, and the kids have been awesome.
Offensively, it seems like you guys got some playmakers. Dawson Everett's put up some big numbers. Elijah Jorgensen. Talk a little bit about your offense, what you need to do to get them on track tonight.
I think spreading the ball around, because everyone knows those are our guys. So if we can find the other guys when they're open to keep them off balance, and I think keeping those guys rested. We've had trouble with that early in the year when it was 90 degrees and all. So those are kind of our focus points on offense.
Homecoming night, always a game that you want to win. So, Coach, good luck to you. Hopefully we'll see you after the game. Absolutely. Stick around. The Blowin' Smoke Barbecue Tailgating Show coming up next right here on 57 Sports.
Folks, it's the Blowin' Smoke Barbecue Tailgating Showcase, and I'm here now with Robert Bishop, owner of Blowin' Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee. How are you, Robert?
Doing good, Justin.
Good to have you.
Good seeing you.
Thanks for having us up here. So, what are we looking at here today?
This is our going to be our tailgate appetizer special.
Okay.
Chiefs games, Packer games, Badger games, of course.
Okay.
What we got here is our
You got some
bread,
onion rings?
beer battered onion rings.
Yeah.
These are buffalo chicken cheese balls.
Okay.
Mozzarella, cheddar, cream cheese, buffalo chicken.
Okay.
Deep fried in a little panko.
Sure.
We've got our beer battered mushrooms.
Okay.
With a little of our secret seasoning in there.
Okay.
And then just some French fries and sweet fries to go with.
Very good. Very
Serve
good.
it up with a little homemade ranch dressing.
Wow. So that you make that in-house?
Yep, we make that too.
And the people should know that you make the cheese balls, the mushrooms, and the onion rings all in-house here.
Yep.
So, all right, let's give it a try here. I'm going to try, I haven't had the mushroom yet, so
Okay.
I'm going to try that. Do people eat it with ranch typically?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
We got a horsey that we make here, horsey sauce that
Okay.
comes with those. It's really good. You like a little spice.
Oh my God.
We cook these mushrooms down in beer, first of all, with a little
Yeah.
rosemary. That takes away most of that moisture. Then we let them cool out, then we batter them up, and then deep fry them. So they're not like the kind you bite into and all the water drips out of them. you know?
Yeah. And I can taste the beer, which is great. And this is something that you said you're doing for Chiefs games, Packer games, and so forth?
Yep. Football, basically any day football's on, we'll be doing these things.
Awesome.
Just a good way to start off your meal,
And you got some TVs in your area here so people can come and enjoy the games here.
You bet, yep.
And also, but if you wanted to bring some home, you can do that as well.
Sure, just give us a call. If it's a large order, maybe a day in advance. If it's a small order, take care of it, in just an hour or so, and pop by, pick it up, and get home and watch the game.
Award-winning barbecue right here in Wanakee with Blowin' Smoke Barbecue. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there's more high school football coming up right after this.
We're here at the Sauk County Bowl, where Sauk Prairie is hosting Baraboo tonight. The coin toss for this game in the Sauk Prairie Bowl is brought to you by Monona Bank. So we have the teams heading to midfield right now. So we will have that coin toss.
Okay, guys, you're the captains, so take care of your players. You see something that's going on that doesn't resemble football, get them back in the huddle. Okay, take care of business. If you got any questions, come to us. If we have anything you need, we're going to come to you guys, okay? We're going to call that heads, and that's tails. We're calling this heads, and that's tails. Okay, Baraboo, you get the call.
Right now?
Yeah, you called heads. Okay, here we go. It is heads.
Defer.
Okay, so Baraboo won the toss, and they will defer. That means you want the football. Okay, What goal do you want to defend to start the game? Okay, put your backs to the goals that you're going to defend. Sauk will receive to begin the game. Guys, shake hands, go have some fun.
So Baraboo has deferred. They won the coin toss, and they will be deferring to the second half, which means Sauk Prairie will be receiving the coin toss, and that's how this game will start. The Sauk Prairie Bowl will be after this, and we have the Cricket Wireless National Anthem in just a moment.
Getting close to kickoff here in the Sauk County Bowl over at Sauk Prairie High School. Rich Reynolds along with Mark Martinez. Another gorgeous night for football. Last week we were hot, we were in shorts. This week, good hitting weather, and this is what football was made for, Friday nights in late September.
It certainly was, Rich. And, you know, there's a lot of things that could be done to fix football, so to speak. But I'm telling you, small town high school football is where things are right at with the game of football. And we got a great crowd for a homecoming game here in Sauk Prairie. It's going to be an exciting night.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing the amount of energy that this crowd has for a football team that's 1-5. And we've seen it now 3 years in a row. We've come up here for homecoming 3 straight years. Every year, the crowd is into it. They got an amazing band, an overflow crowd. Really a lot of fun to see. What you're seeing in the stands right over there right now is Baraboo's sideline. They didn't seem to make the 16-mile trip.
They didn't, but the Sauk County community did a great job because they have homecoming events happening. They got the bouncy house over there. They were grilling out earlier. They got the band, cheerleaders. All the students from the school seem to be sitting right in front of us. It's going to be an exciting night. And again, exciting to see this in a small town America.
And the quarter-mile like row of trees that's right behind us, all adorned in the whitest toilet paper you've done ever seen. And it makes for a real pretty sight as both teams now taking to the sidelines as we are getting set for the Cricket Wireless National Anthem. So let's go ahead and stand and do it along with them here on homecoming night in Sauk City.
In 2008 and 2009. Michael Knight Jacobs was born in Prairie du Sac in 1981. He graduated Sauk Prairie High School in 2000, where he played football, baseball, and wrestled. He joined the Marine Corps in January of 2001 with a dual military occupational specialty of security forces and infantry mortarman. He was deployed to Southeast Asia, Japan in 2003 and Fallujah, Iraq in 2004 during the First Battle of Fallujah. He was awarded the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal and Combat Action Ribbon, therefore being honorably discharged in 2005 and coming home to the Sauk Prairie area where he still resides. Maury Roldan is a 1963 graduate of Sauk Prairie High School. He was drafted and served in the United States Army from 66 to 68. He served in the demilitarized zone in South Korea from 67 to 68. And Dennis Shaw is a Prairie du Sac resident. He enlisted in the United States Army in September 67.
You got it.
He arrived in Vietnam in 1969 and was assigned to the 23rd American Division in the Mechanized Infantry as a Trek commander. He was attached to the 1st Cav of the 1st Cavalry Division. He served in Vietnam until May 1970. He was awarded the Combat Infantry Badge, 2 Purple Hearts, and a Bronze Star with a V device for valor. He was discharged with the rank of sergeant. At this time, we ask you to rise and please show respect as members of the Sauk Prairie High School Choral Music Department lead us in our national anthem.
And the rocket
Wow, an amazing job by the Sauk choir. I tell you what, a great way to kick off what should be a great night here in the Badger North Conference. The Sauk County Bowl. It is Sauk Prairie hosting Baraboo homecoming night here in Sauk, and we'll be back for this one. The kickoff is next, and it is presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress and 57 Sports. Glorious Friday night for football here up in the bluffs and the rolling hills of Sauk City, Wisconsin, just off the banks of the Wisconsin River. It is homecoming night, and we are pumped up for this one. A huge crowd over on the home side that is pumped up and ready for this one as a kickoff is going to go to Parker Breinig at about the 15-yard line, and he's going to try to take it right and evades one tackle, still on his feet. Breinig across the 30-yard line, and a pretty decent return, and Sauk Prairie will go to work there, led by their senior signal caller, Dawson Everett, who has been pretty darn good this season.
Everett sure has. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards, and even though they're only 1-6, that's a pretty good aerial attack that they have going. I'm sure Coach Schutt is going to try to get that untracked tonight for the Eagles.
The only part where Everett has struggled a little bit, 4 touchdowns versus 5 interceptions. So the turnovers, one of the things that has hurt the Sauk Prairie Eagles so far this season. They spread him out 5 wide, empty backfield, and the pass goes out to Jorgensen, and he's immediately brought down for a loss. So a little quick hitter to Jorgensen, and that doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Linebacker Jacob Kimfak read that play, saw the back go in motion in the backfield, kind of shattered him a little bit. As soon as he saw the ball thrown to him, he just tracked him down and tackled him for a loss. Nice defensive play there.
Loss of 5 on the play makes it 2nd and 15. The ball on the 25-yard line. Again, out of the shotgun, and now it's Everett rolling right, and he will pitch over to Jorgensen, and Jorgensen this time has some room as he's near the 35-yard line and splits the deficit in half, going to be about 3rd and 8.
Well, Everett and Jorgensen is kind of the 1-2 punch for the Eagles as they come out here in a no-huddle attack. We'll get back to the action on the field, but those have been their 2 key playmakers throughout the season so far for the Eagles.
Give them a gain of 9, 3rd down and manageable now as it goes 3rd and 6. The Eagles got to get it to the 40-yard line. First 3rd down of the night, and the toss is complete. It's Jorgensen once again streaking down the right sideline. 1st down yardage and more up ahead of the 44-yard line, and a pickup on the play of 22 yards.
As I mentioned, Elijah Jorgensen is the 1-2 punch with Everett. He's a running back, but he's their leading receiver. He's got 15 receptions for 3 touchdowns on the season. He could tack on another reception there for him for a nice big 1st down.
First Festival Foods first down of the night. And now an encroachment penalty is going to be our first courtesy Ford penalty flag of the night, as Everett was able to draw the Baraboo defense offside.
So Jacob Kempfak, the guy who made the first tackle on the play, again, I said he was an outside linebacker, but he's actually defensive end. He got a little anxious there and jumped off sides.
Makes it a 1st and 5 now for Sauk. And it's going to be a direct snack to Jorgensen. That works as he tiptoes his way across the 35 and up near the 30-yard line. Pickup of 8 and another Festival Foods 1st down.
So they're doing a good job of mixing things up early on here with the run and the pass, trying to be equivalent on both sides there.
Nice shot there looking at Dawson Everett. Gives to Jorgensen, and this time the Baraboo defense is not fooled as knifing through on the play for Baraboo. Number 56, that is Jacob Kimpfleck. Kimpbeck. Try saying that 3 times fast.
It's a tough one, and again, he's the one that made the first tackle as well, Rich. That's the 2nd time he's got a tackle for loss. 2 TFLs already in the first drive.
That's a good way to start a game. 3 carries, 13 yards for Jorgensen here in the early going. Everett looks right, throws right, connects on the pass to Schaff, as that's Bryant Schaff, a 5'11 junior, and Everett was right on the money.
Well, you can see why the kid has over 1,000 yards passing. Everett, that is, because he sets his feet, drives the ball, has a nice zip on it, made an easy completion there.
So it makes it 3rd and manageable once again, as 7 yards on this opening drive now for Sauk, and the pass incomplete as it was intended on the near side here, the diving attempt by Adam Duran, and he came up short. One thing I know about Adam Duran, he can catch. He is the catcher on my son's traveling baseball team throughout the summer. So hi to Hazel and Bob, who I saw in the stands tonight. Adam diving attempt there did not get that one, but I'm sure he'll have a catch or two tonight. So 4th down now, and Sauk's going to go for it. Everett looking left, has pressure, throws it out there, and it's going to be caught. Unbelievable. Looks like it was intercepted originally, but Seth Patterson took it out of the defender's hands, and it will be a 1st down for the Eagles.
Yeah, Rich, I thought this was an interception. Defender went up and got the ball at the height of the attack, but the receiver just raked it out of his arms and took it and got a few more yards.
Wow, we haven't seen a play like that all season. So
Seth Patterson.
Unbelievable. As a 15-yard gain and a 1st down. And now Jorgensen tries the right side, turns a corner, dives. Going to be just shy of the end zone, but give him a Festival Foods 1st down.
So that's that option. They ran that earlier, Rich, and I really like the way that Everett attacked the defensive end, made him commit to him. That made the pitch man wide open, was able to get a bunch of yards there.
So it'll be 1st and goal to goal from the 4-yard line. Dawson Everett looked pretty sharp so far in this drive. He's 2 for 2. Throwing the ball. Direct snap to Jorgensen. He mishandled it, and he paid the price as he's dropped at the 10-yard line.
And you can see what happens when snaps are not on target. It really messes up the timing of the play. That's the 2nd time that's happened in the last 3 or 4 plays, and it just prevents you from having any success in an offensive play when the snap is off.
At least it didn't hit him in the knees like it did Mike Glennon in the Packers-Bears game.
That was interesting.
Yeah, Butterfinger actually was, I guess, what do they call that? Trolling the Bears. Called him buttered knees. Pass to Duran. What a catch as he dived into the air, caught that at the highest point. Great catch by Duran down to the 1-yard line.
Again, just a quick pass. So you see that Everett likes to get the ball out of his hands rather quickly there. Get it to his receivers right as they make their break so they can do something with it after the catch.
So 3rd and goal to go, 1 yard separating the Eagles from their first score of the night. Little confusion in the backfield as Schaff is back in there as a toss for Jorgensen. A little too tall as Everett. A little too far for him. As you see the fans in the end zone right there. There's so many fans here tonight. They've overflown into the end zone. Great crowd support for a team that's 1-5 on the season.
Absolutely. Like we said, it is homecoming, so you expect a bigger than average crowd for that. But this place is packed. You can't really see it when you look at the stands on the other side of the field, but the home side stands are packed. It's standing room only. People are standing up against the fence down by the track. Cool to see, that's for sure.
Yeah, great support here in Sauk for sure. And we always love coming here. Everybody always treats us so well. So a big thank you to the entire staff here at Sauk Prairie High School. 4th and 1, 2nd, 4th down of the drive, and running option now. Everett is slipped. He slipped down and is held shy of the end zone. The Baraboo defense holds, and I tell you what, was that Coach Turkington on the sideline jumping up and down? He was pretty pumped up.
Got to be excited about your defense holding them out of the end zone on 4th and 1 there. They ran the option play again. Didn't make the defensive end committee, kind of played right in between the quarterback and the pitch man. So Everett tried to turn the ball up. Wet field on a late September night. The dewgrass made him slip a little bit. He wasn't able to get traction and drive into the end zone. Good job by the Thunderbird defense.
So the quarterback's number 9, Brock Turkington, and he's going to try the quarterback sneak just to get some breathing room for Baraboo, and that actually worked as he takes it up to the 5-yard line in a gain of 4 for Turkington. And as you uncovered in the pregame interview, the junior signal caller is indeed the coach's son.
Yeah, we talked a little bit to Coach Steve Turkington in the pregame about that relationship between coach and dad, and how does your son know which is one. And I guess you got to really listen in, because sometimes he is talking to him as the coach. Other times it's just dad pumping him up.
And this time, though, Turkington looked like he might have pulled away too soon, and the ball is on the ground. A fumble there. No signal yet. Sauk thinks that they have it. Still waiting for a ref, and it is Sauk Prairie football. And that is a huge turnover inside the 5-yard line for Baraboo, and those are the breaks that seem to haunt 0-6 football teams.
It sure is, and it's really unfortunate there for the Thunderbirds. You know, you get the ball at the 1-yard line. You want to try to get at least 1 or 2 first downs and maybe punt it away and consider that a win. Obviously not a win is fumbling the ball and giving it right back to the Eagles 3 yards away from their own end zone.
1st and goal to go from the 4. So the Eagles serendipitously get a second shot at this touchdown after failing to punch it in on 4th and 1 in the opening drive. This time a quick hitter to Jorgensen and a touchdown. Everett to Jorgensen. The Eagles score first on a You Move Me touchdown, and that looks simple.
Again, just a quick slant to Jorgensen. A little bit of a pump fake in the backfield, draw the linebackers in, clear up some space there. That quick slant's going to come open really quickly. Everett does a good job setting his feet, delivering a strike for the touchdown.
Eagles draw first blood here tonight, just under 7 minutes left in the first quarter, as Jorgensen also handles the kicking duties as the snap is down and the kick is good. 7-0, the Eagles flying high early here in the Sauk County Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress and 57 Sports. There's a moon out tonight, and it is shining over the bluffs here in Sauk City. 7-0 is our score in the early going. The Eagles didn't score in their opening drive. They were held a yard shy, but got the ball back 2 plays later, and this time they punched it right in.
Well, they had 2 breaks already in this first quarter. What it looked like was an interception by Baraboo. The receiver was able to rake it out of the defender's hands and keep the drive going. Then they got stopped at the goal line, and 2 plays later they recovered the fumble at the 3 and are able to punch it in. So the Eagles taking advantage of some great opportunities in this first quarter.
They have early on. 7-0 is our score. The Eagles looking for their second victory of the season. They beat Madison Edgewood way back in week number 2 in a Badger Conference crossover game, as this kick will roll into the end zone, and in high school football that is a dead ball and a touchback. So Baraboo going back on offense. You know, one of the things about this Baraboo offense, Coach Turkington was talking about how they like to actually pass the ball. You know, this year, the Baraboo offense getting 5.9 yards per attempt on the ground while only giving up 5.2 yards per attempt on the ground. So they can run the ball a little bit. If there's a place for them to have success, it might be running this football.
Absolutely. They got more than double the yards rushing than passing, so you think they're going to be leaning on the rushing game tonight.
And Sauk has had problems stopping the run, as the handoff's going to go to Vodak. That is Evan Vodak, a 6-foot senior, and Vodak didn't get much on first down.
Well, we saw from stats on Wisconsin Sportsnet, I want to give a shout out to them, that Michael Weck had some pretty good job rushing the ball earlier in the season as an 8-yard average. And I don't know if he was out because of injury, but it looks like he was back in warm-ups. We're going to see if he gets the ball tonight and get that rushing game going for the Thunderbirds.
Good look into the T-Bird huddle right there. I love their uniforms. What a great color combination that they have, as the give is going to be to Weck, and going straight forward, finally driven down, as it'll bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 6.
Rich, you have a son. You got to know that father-son relationship is awfully tight. You can imagine it's doubly so when the head coach of a football team has a son playing for him. Just some of the dinner conversations they must have at home, some of the things that they share, those have to be special moments during this football season for those two.
Yeah, I also think it would be really hard to coach my son, because if there's anyone that I think my son tunes out, it's me. As a pass to the left side is going to fall incomplete. Well, that pass was right on the money. The intended receiver was Pablo Ramirez. Ramirez had it for a second, but got a good jolt from this Sauk Prairie defense, and it brings up 4th down.
He did. It looked like it was a completion there, but the defender went in and made the tackle, and the ball just slithered out of there. It would have been a 1st down. And the interesting thing on that play was, we'll see if they come back to that, because on the back side of that, they had a wheel going, and he was wide open. So it could be a play they want to come back to later.
And the coaching staff of Baraboo sitting right next to us up here in the press box as they use an iPad for a camera as well. And coaches really go over everything nowadays with a fine-tooth comb. So that ball is going to come dead at about the 35-yard line. The Eagles back on offense with a 7-0 lead, as we want to thank everyone over at A1 Furniture and Mattress for once again being the title sponsor of our football, our basketball programs here on 57 Sports. Such great supporters. A1 Furniture and Mattress, your premier furniture and mattress store. Okay, so 5:38 left, 3rd drive now for the Eagles, up 7-0. We've seen the Baraboo defense so far. What do they got to do to stop this attack, Mark?
Well, they got to figure out who's going to be their main threat, but when you got a 1-2 punch like these guys have, it's hard to key on either Evert throwing the ball or Jorgensen running the ball. A couple of talented kids you see in action, and we saw them 1-2 punch as well on the extra point. One was holding, the other one was kicking.
Jorgensen with another carry. It's already actually his 3rd negative carry of the night, so you would think early on they're keying Elijah Jorgensen. Second down and 12, almost got the Thunderbird defense to jump offside again, did Everett. Taking his time here as the clock continues to run. Everett looking left, finds a receiver out in the flat, and a good tackle as they held the feet of Schaff, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, Evert was doing his best Aaron Rodgers impersonation. They're trying to get the Thunderbird defense to jump offside. They flinched a little bit, but they didn't cross the line of scrimmage. And again, those quirky rules in high school, if they cross the line of scrimmage, it's automatically an offsides penalty.
Schaff already on the night. Brian Schaff has 2 catches for 15 yards. 3rd down, Schaff, the intended receiver, again incomplete, as being drilled on the play was Everett, as that time the Thunderbirds brought pressure and they got home.
They did. They brought linebacker number 54, Averly Estes, and he got right through the gap. Looked like he was untouched and in the lap of Evert, who wasn't able to get a quick pass off.
So 4th down and a line drive punt, going to take a Sauk bounce and roll dead at about the 13-yard line. So we would like to also note that all of our penalty flags tonight are courtesy of Courtesy Ford in Sauk Prairie. Courtesy Ford, your new truck destination. At Courtesy Ford, it's courtesy that counts. Also, a big thank you to Cricket Wireless. Their friends and family mobile plans are 5 lines for $100. That's right, $20 a line. Switch to Cricket and get more for less. All right, Thunderbirds still looking for their first down of the night, as this is now their 3rd drive of the evening. And the give is going to be straight up the middle. Good run by Weck, still on his feet, barreling forward, and then the ball comes loose. Boy, all of that effort, he kept trying to get more and more. He does get the 1st down, and lucky for him, a fortuitous bounce as the Thunderbirds keep the ball and get a 1st down.
Yeah, he did a great job driving his feet there, driving a couple of tacklers with him. But again, when you're doing that, sometimes you forget to get that 5 points covered on the football, and the ball ended up on the ground. Fortunately for the Thunderbirds, the receiver was there to jump on it.
Weck now 2 carries, 16 yards. As he's going to get the call again straight up the middle. And this time, the Sauk defense is up to the challenge. Boy, the Eagle defense this year has really had a lot of problems stopping the run.
They didn't have any problem there. Brooks Leister, number 44, the linebacker. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 180 pounds, was right through that A-gap, able to slow down Weck right in his tracks and make a nice form tackle.
2nd and we'll call it 9. Boy, both teams play almost exclusively out of the shotgun. Ball's on the ground again as a bad exchange between Turkington and Weck, and that's going to go for a big loss and put Baraboo behind the chains.
And again, those are things that teams that haven't had a lot of success on this season seem to do, to shoot themselves in the foot with the ball on the ground. We've seen it numerous times already in this first quarter for the Thunderbirds. If they want to have some success tonight, they're going to have to keep the ball off the ground, that's for sure.
Yeah, you talk about that father-son relationship. I would have some choice words for my son on that exchange as it brings up third down. It's 16. Long throw for Turkington, and he overshoots everybody, the intended receiver on the play, Pablo Ramirez, and it's fourth down.
Sauk defense did a good job plastering, as they say it, to all those receivers. Not one of them had a step on their guy. So Turkington just had to throw it up to see if his receiver could make a play on the ball.
So already the second punt coming up for the Thunderbirds, trailing by 7. As an end-over-ender, Jorgensen looking to try to field it. He's going to let it bounce, though, and it'll come dead at about the 36-yard line. All right, time for our first sideline report. Let's go ahead and head down there right now.
Thanks, Rich. This is a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. And with me right now, I have Mitch Breinig. He is a board member for the Sauk Prairie Sports Boosters. You may not recognize him without tongs and a hamburger in his hand, but he's joining us here tonight. Thank you for taking a moment, Mitch.
It's great to be here.
So tell me a little bit about what the Sports Boosters are doing right now. You looked busy there with the food and the bouncy houses and so much more.
So we had a community tailgate party tonight as part of homecoming, and it's one of our 3 fundraisers that we do for the Sports Boosters. So all the money that we raise goes back into the sports programs for our school.
And it's not just football, it's all sports.
Yeah, it's all sports. We do anything from, actually this year, the cheerleading club had kind of not been real active for a while, and they had a new leader. She came in with some requests, got new pom-poms, new uniforms. The other stuff was just old and wasn't even useful anymore, and we donated to them. We also do basketball, soccer, swimming, all the sports that are part of the school.
And it's all just high school, though, right?
Actually, you know, some of the things we do, we buy equipment that's useful for any athlete, and we're able to use it in the middle school programs and even some of the youth kids.
All right, and briefly, how do the monies get petitioned for?
So each year, 3 times a year, the coaches have to come to us with a petition program. They need to research a budget as to what the program or thing that they need would cost, and they submit it to us, and then we look over those proposals and fund the ones that we think are worthy, and they're all worthy.
And you're funding them one bratwurst at a time.
Right.
Thank you, Mitch. Mitch is with the Sauk Prairie Sports Boosters. This was a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report.
And there you go, a Janet sighting. Nice to see Janet on the sidelines here tonight. Third down and 22 as a throw over to the left side, incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver on the play. That's Parker Breinig, and it'll bring up a fourth down. So both offenses right now struggling after the Eagles had a good opening drive.
Well, that drive started out with the sack of the quarterback. He even got sacked, put him in long down and distance, and they were never recover from. But I'll tell you something, Rich. If anybody knows anything about the Sauk community, the Breinig last name is well known. They are all over this county for sure.
Good punt that time, fielded it at the 40-yard line and still on his feet and past midfield. A decent return there from Alex Brown, who also doubles as a leading receiver for the Thunderbirds. So just over a minute left here in the first quarter, 7-0 Sauk with the lead. By the way, we did have a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. If you go to dalesheating.com, you can find out how you can get your dryer vents cleaned for free. That's Dale's Heating and Air, putting your comfort first. And as always, a big thank you to Brian over at Dale's Heating and Air Conditioning for always supporting 57 Sports. Turkington looking left, has a man and has a first down as he threw a strike to Caden Blum.
Nice big target Caden Bloom is for them. He's the tight end, number 87. 6'5", 230-pounder. Just did a quick out pattern right there, caught the ball, and was able to turn it upfield. Looks like we might have an Eagle player hobbled a little bit, so we got a timeout for injury.
Injury over on the far sideline. Why don't we go ahead and take a U-Break iFix timeout. Just a tick under a minute left in the first quarter in the Sauk County Bowl. 7-0 our score. The Eagles on top early on 57 Sports. Back for the final minute here of the first quarter. Baraboo on the march, as the give is going to be to Weck, and Weck going nowhere quickly as a flock of Eagles came in and stopped him as he did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Rich, you asked what can some of these teams do to get some success here. One of the toughest things to do is get some continuity going with your offense. Your defense can really pin their ears back, and I think you've been seeing on both sides of the ball, both teams' defense looks to be ahead of their offense in development, and they're playing pretty good D against the other team tonight.
We are seeing that, as it is a second down and just over 10 yards. Long pass to the near sideline, incomplete. Good coverage that time provided by Parker Breinig, as there was nowhere to go with that football.
Well, Alex Brown, as you mentioned, Rich, is their leading receiver, so he was the one that Turkington was trying to get the ball to, and they were jostling a little bit of hand fighting down there, but the ball was off target anyway.
And add insult to injury, there is a courtesy forward flag that is on the field. I thought we had some movement right before the snap. Wasn't sure if it was a false start or illegal motion, but let's see what the call is here as the refs are cleaning up this courtesy forward flag. Oh, and it's going to be a block below the waist, and that's going to push the ball back 15 yards. That's a bad one.
Well, in high school football, the only time you can block below the waist is immediately after the snap of the ball inside the tackle box. So from tackle to tackle, 2 yards on either side of the ball, you can do what they used to call in the old school cut block.
Right.
You got to do it immediately, though. If you wait or if you do it outside the tackle box, it's illegal.
Well, it's good that in the state of Wisconsin they're worried about the players' knees, but not worried about the quarterbacks' heads. As eventually we'll probably talk more about that tonight, as it always seems to come up, as there's grounding everywhere, it seems like, in high school football. They just can't throw the ball away.
Well, again, there's a play where you see the defense is just ahead of the offense. They're just playing downhill, so to speak, filling gaps, playing sound defense, nowhere to run the ball for the Thunderbirds.
And it is our final play of the first quarter. 7-0 Sauk Prairie out on top in the Sauk County Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress, right here on 57 Sports. The Sauk band belted out a Seven Armies War. Absolutely love that song. It's great for high school football. A great night for football here in Sauk City. Rich Reynolds along with Mark Martinez, as we have the pleasure of bringing this one to you tonight, as Turkington misfires on third and forever, bringing up another fourth down. So a promising start to the drive for Baraboo quickly comes to an end.
Well, you get the ball inside your own territory there, and instead of going towards your end zone, you're going towards the other team's end zone, and they just don't get any continuity on the offensive side of the ball. Once again, they got to trot out the punter.
Yeah, the offense is both out of sync. The band, by the way, in sync here tonight, as they do a wonderful job here in Sauk with their band and their Army Corps, but not a great job there by Jorgensen. He fielded the punt, lost the handle on it, tried to pick it up again, and that is disastrous as Baraboo catches a break and gets a turnover.
All right, Baraboo, let's see what we can do with the ball here now. Second time in a row you've had it in Sauk Prairie Eagle territory. Can you take advantage of it to get something going, either running or throwing? Right now they haven't proven they could do either one effectively, but no better time than the present to get started.
Turnovers now have evened up after Jorgensen not only lost the handle on that football, but took a vicious hit on top of it. So insult to injury there, as Well, Turkington's just going to take it straight up the middle, almost look like the kind of play you'd run on 4th and 1, and it gets a couple on first down.
Well, sometimes when you go to the sideline, the center, the guards could talk to the coaches and say, hey, they have a big gap over the A gap, so we could goose it, so to speak, and get 4 or 5 yards and get some positive yardage on first down. Looks like that's what they're trying to do right there.
As soon as I saw that play, I'm like, I hope Mark says goose. I know. I know that's his call on that one. Turkington's going to pitch it to Weck. Weck actually with a little bit of open space before being brought down around the 13-yard line. Pickup of 5 almost for the tailback, and it's going to bring up 3rd and short and a big one here for the Thunderbirds.
So the offensive line of Baraboo got a good push on the right side of their line. Running back wasn't touched until 4 or 5 yards down the field. We'll see if that's the strength of their line and they go right back to it, or if they try a quick slant here to get that first down.
6 carries for 14 yards for Michael Weck. Now it's Turkington straight up the middle again, and he's real close to the first down marker. Looking at the officials, I think they have him just about a half-yard shy, and it's going to bring up 4th and very short. Boy, they've run that QB dive, the goose play, twice in the last 3 plays.
Well, I call it goose because that's the old school, but lately people have been calling it zero wedge. So the zero hole is right over the center, and then those guard centers just wedge it right in there.
In hockey, they call it the 5-hole, I think, maybe. First down, they run it again. You know, this is a strange-looking offense when you see the zero wedge run 3 times out of 4 plays.
Well, if you find something that has a little bit of success, sometimes coaches are creatures of habit. They just like to go back to it. They challenge the defense to stop it, or they'll keep running it. Again, last year and for a number of years, I coached 8-man football. Elkhart Lake had some big linemen all the time, and they would run this type of play all day long until you could prove to stop it.
It is a Festival Foods first down. The pitch to Weck, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. So right now, at least the Sauk defense that has been very porous all season long against the run is starting to become stingy here tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are. And the Baraboo defense tried the toss play on that. It worked successfully to the right side. They tried it to the left and got no push on the left side of the offensive line, partially due to the aggressiveness of that Eagle defense coming upfield.
Weck just getting 2 yards a pop, 7 carries, 14 yards on the night. It's a pitch fake. Turkington is going to try to go naked and forget about it. He is easily chased down as he was unable to turn the corner.
So just try to toss fake and bootleg out of that. Hopefully the backside of that defense is going to hold or go to the left as you're facing the offense so that the quarterback can make it around the edge there and get to the pylon. But the Eagle defense wasn't fooled and able to force them out of bounds.
Yeah, they did not bite on that one, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and goal to go. The ball on the 8-yard line. Back out of the shotgun now for Turkington. He's looking left, pressure's coming, pass is complete and close to the end zone. It is a touchdown as it goes to Caden Bloom, the tight end. I thought he might have been just a little bit shy, but the ref signal, AU moved me, touchdown, 8-yard strike from Turkington to Bloom.
Well, he used all 6 foot 5 inches of his 230-pound frame to lunge to that goal line. Same play they ran earlier for about a 7-8 yard gain. Just about a 4 or 5 yard out pattern that he ran. Nice pass from Turkington to him to get into the end zone.
So a big score there for Baraboo as they are able to knot this game up with 8:35 left until the half. We are tied at 7, and it looks like we are all set for another Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. Let's send it back down to Janet.
And thanks, guys. Yep, we're down here with a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. I'm wondering if you heard the national anthem that was sung tonight. It sounded fantastic. It was live, and I have 3 of the group that actually sang that up in the box tonight. With me, I have Tekla, Kate, and Jack. Thanks for joining me tonight, you guys. So what was that group? Was it a choir? Was it a class? Was it just a group of enthusiasts?
It was actually our audition choir for the school. We call ourselves chamber singers. It's the top group in our school.
It shows. I mean, it sounds it sounds good too. And so, is this a group that you do this regularly, or is this a one-time thing?
Yeah, we actually sing the national anthem at every single home game we have at every single event. And we really enjoy doing it because our fans really like it.
I have to say, it's probably the best I've heard at all the games that we've been to. And does this group compete? Because it should.
No, our choir group does not compete, but we do have a competing show choir and marching band.
Oh, well, good luck to you guys. This is your senior year, and you're performing at halftime as well. Thanks so much. Yep. And back to you guys. This was a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report.
Yeah, Janet was on point. What a beautiful rendition it was of the Star Spangled Banner, as the kick is going to go to the up man, as on the return is Adam Nolden, and Nolden gets it up to the 30-yard line as Sauk coming back out on offense. Boy, I tell you what, that first drive, they were able to drive it all the way down the field. They're held a yard shy of the end zone. I'm thinking they're going to have success all night long. I don't think they've gotten a first down since that first drive.
Well, they came out with a lot of passion and emotion, with it being homecoming, a great crowd, and they seem to have things rolling along on that first drive. And since then, they haven't been able to get untracked. Both scores came off of turnovers, so we'll see which team could take advantage of the other team's miscues.
Tied at 7, turnovers tied at 1. Very even play so far in the early going, as Everett tries that option play once again, and the pitch actually was given to Ben Pathan, and Pathan lost yardage on the play.
Well, Rich, as you mentioned, after that first drive, even on that first drive, they had a lot of negative plays. And again, a first down play that sends you backwards and puts you in second and long, really hard to get out of that hole.
Yeah, they've been trying to dig out of holes all night long, as Schaff, with his third catch of the night, tried to go the other way, could not. Good defense being played right now by the Thunderbirds, as they are starting to set the tone. Excellent tackle out in space by Gabe Larson.
Well, Schaff's momentum had him going back towards the defense when he should have been trying to go to the sideline. By the time he switched direction, he had a nice block towards the sideline, but he just couldn't get going that direction and let the defender be able to catch up with him and make the tackle again, and for another probably 1-yard loss.
Yeah, it was. Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 15. These are real hard to get when you got 3rd and this long. Blitz is coming from Baraboo. Everett running out of time, finds Schaff, and a flag is down as Schaff got back close to the original line of scrimmage, but there's a flag down way in the backfield, and it's a hold against Sauk. Pretty sure that one's going to be declined, and another negative drive for the Eagles.
So it was against the left tackle. The right defensive end for Baraboo just came around on a speed rush and was trying to get by him, and essentially got tackled in the backfield. Again, I would not want to play left tackle. You're always going up against a fabulous athlete on that side of the ball, and every time they go back to pass, he's just pinning his ears back trying to hunt down my quarterback. That's no fun.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest spots on the field, and the reason why that they're the highest paid offensive linemen when it gets to the NFL level. They're hard to come by. Good left tackles, that's for sure. Wow, the pressure was on, and I'm not sure how that punt wasn't blocked and how the punter didn't get hit, but instead a good punt that's going to roll dead at about the 26-yard line, and that's where Baraboo will have to go to work. Tied at 7, just under 7 minutes left here in the first half, and it gives me just a second. Well, check that. Why don't we go ahead and take a break? It is a You Break, I Fix timeout. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sauk City Bowl on 57 Sports. Seven game as they give up the middle to Weck. Good offensive line push on first down to get positive yards for Baraboo. Weck right now has been the workhorse, 8 carries, 16 yards.
Well, it's only a 2-yard average for Weck on the season. He's averaging 8 yards a carry, so he's looking to get himself on track. The offensive line has to open a couple of holes for him, and he's got the talent and ability to make some guys miss.
Yeah, a couple of trends being bucked here so far tonight. Baraboo averaging about 6 yards per gain on the ground, and there's a big gain as it gives to Vodak. He trucked a guy and now streaks down the right sideline up to the 20 and near the 15 is Vodak. A huge gain on the play of 54 5 yards, and that's exactly what the Thunderbirds needed.
As you mentioned, Vodak, a senior, 6 foot, 190 pounder, running with great low pad level, running over guys, getting that first down and a lot more.
Unbelievable display of strength and speed by Vodak on that carry. Evan Vodak now with 3 carries, 57 yards, as the give will go back to Weck, and now it looks like more what we expected. Baraboo averaging, coming into this game, 6 yards a pop on the ground. The Sauk Prairie defense averaging, giving up 6 yards a pop on the ground, so you kind of expected that Baraboo would be able to run the football.
Well, on that play, too, with Weck, they had a fullback leading him. I really like using a fullback or a pulling lineman to give you an extra guy at the point of attack. With these spread offenses these days, Rich, those fullbacks aren't in use, but I tell you, they're good weapons to have.
I agree. I love watching the fullback, as this time Vodak is not able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up a big 3rd down and a short 3, long 2 for Baraboo.
Well, number 3, Brent Schaffer, the Eagle defense just comes on a run blitz. So the Eagle coaches decide, hey, if they're going to be running the ball, we're going to fill some gaps here, and I'm going to blitz some guys. They're able to stop them before they got to the line of scrimmage on that play.
Crowd making a lot of noise here in Sauk. Packed house, tons of energy here tonight. Maybe the most energetic crowd we've had all season is on 3rd down. Turkington's pass goes right into the dirt, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, we talk a lot every week, Rich, about footwork for quarterbacks, and a lot of times everybody thinks you just have to have that big arm, but really it starts from the ground up. If you have footwork's okay and you can drive the ball, you're going to be a lot more accurate than just whipping the ball around. At that time, Turkington didn't have his feet settled, and he threw the ball a little short to his receiver.
4th down and 2. Here we go. Weck's going to get the carry, trying the right side, and it's going to depend on the spot. From where that official came in on the far side, I think they're short, and they are. The Sauk Prairie defense holds on 4th down.
Well, you got to feel positive for the Thunderbird offense. They got their rushing attack going on that drive. They couldn't finish it off, but they got to feel pretty good about that. They got some things working. We'll see if the Eagles now can turn some momentum. They're back deep in their own territory. If they can get out of here, if their offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot and they get those negative yardage plays, they could wind up in a deeper hole.
Tell you what, we are full as a staff here tonight. It's all thanks to the Prairie House. Todd Baker at the Prairie House, 1920 Prairie Street in Prairie du Sac. A big thank you to them for feeding our staff tonight, as did Pizza Hut of Sauk City. Gather around the good stuff. Pizza Hut of Sauk City. Thank you to them. And once again, it is the Baraboo defense that's controlling the line of scrimmage against the Prairies, as 1st down gets nothing for the Eagles.
So as we mentioned earlier, Everett carried the ball there, just a quarterback keep. He's leading the team with 5 rushing touchdowns, but he hasn't been able to get on track, get the ball going either. The best thing they've been doing is getting the ball to Elijah Jorgensen on some of those short passes.
3 carries, negative 11 yards tonight for Dawson Everett. So he has struggled, and now the pressure coming once again. And down he goes on a Green Bay Packers Go Pack sack. And once again, the guy who has been dominating play so far tonight defensively is Jacob Kimpfbeck.
So they tried the hitch and go to Jorgensen here, where he goes out about 3 or 4 yards, does a real quick button hook, pump fake, and then he tries to sprint down the sideline. Unfortunately, Everett didn't have enough time in the backfield with the rush coming on by the Thunderbird defense, and besides, the safety was double covering Jorgensen as well.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 20, as once again, it is a 3rd and more than 10 for this Eagles offense, and that is a tough way to make your bones as an offensive team. Going to be a quick pass out to, I believe that was Geron out on the far sideline. It was, and Adam got swallowed up quickly, and it's going to be another 4th down, and this time the Eagles left a punt from their own end zone.
I'll tell you what, I give a lot of credit to that Thunderbird defense. They really flow to the ball well, hustle to it, they gang tackle, and they just haven't been able to let that Eagle offense get untracked since that first drive tonight.
4th and 20, 2 guys back for Baraboo to field the kick. They are standing at the Sauk Prairie 40-yard line. Pressure once again, low line drive, returnable kick, as it's going to be Brown who takes it. He slipped for a second, and that's a shame. Looked like he might have had a seam. Instead, he goes down at the 34-yard line. Regardless, though, Baraboo's in great shape here in field position.
Absolutely, 34-yard line going in. You can't get much better field position than this unless you get it from a turnover. So they got to capitalize on it again. They just started to get their rushing attack going. Vodek had that long run after he ran over a couple of Eagle defenders, and we'll see if they go back to pushing it on the right side of that offensive line with their rushing attack.
We're 181 seconds on the clock away from the Midwest Engine Service halftime show. Midwest Engine halftime, or engine service, they believe in you. Pass to Brown is complete as he had to go high in the air to get it, and a short gain on first down.
It's only a short game, but you like to see positive yardage to get that momentum going so you're not shooting yourself in the foot with anything negative. So nice little quick out there, catch the ball, get 3 yards, come back and be able to line up with a second and manageable.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem that we have seen tonight for both offenses. First down, you got to get yards on first down, and there's been so many negative plays for both teams so far on that down. Weck straight up the middle, and that was not open there. A good job by the Sauk Prairie defense to tie that play up, and it'll bring up third down on about 5.
Well, and here's why I like a fullback or a leading guard or lineman through there. The right side of that offensive line actually got some push. There was some green grass there, but by the time the back got to the hole, the linebacker was filling. If there's a lead blocker, then he could cover him up a little bit more, and now you're off to 4, 5, 10 yards on a rushing play as opposed to not having a lead blocker there.
Yeah, I'm surprised with these spread offenses that not even like a tight end is used more often in that role, like an H-back type of situation, if you will. You just see it less and less in footballs nowadays. A strike that time as Turkington finds Brown at about the 25-yard line, close to a first down, as we'll see where the actual spot is. They might have to bring out the chains on this one. That is right near the first down marker, as we'll see what the ref calls here. I think they're going to call for a measurement. To me, it looks like a first down. Great throw that time by Turkington.
Yep, they're giving it to him.
Yeah, it looks like a first down from here. So a pickup of 5, second catch of the night for Brown. It goes for a Festival Foods first down. And Baraboo on the march now as they got a chance to score here right before halftime.
And I believe they have all their timeouts left, so they could really work this clock in their 2-minute offense here and get some points on the board before halftime.
Yeah, the clock's ticking now, but like you said, a full assortment of timeouts to choose from, so they don't have to worry about it. As a whistle here before the snap, and a flag on the play is going to be a false start. Third penalty of the night against the winless Thunderbirds, and boy, it looked like there was some positive yards to be gained there on first down. Instead, it becomes 1st and 15.
Like you said, you know, it's been the repeating story of the first half for both teams, where they start out, shoot themselves in the foot, and they got to dig themselves out of a hole. And these teams that are trying to find an offensive identity can't dig themselves out of a hole time and time again.
Baraboo's got 7 tonight. The last 2 weeks, they did not score at all, as the pass just a little bit behind the intended receiver on the play, as that was Caden Carpenter on that one, second down of 15.
Well, you would have liked to put the ball a little bit more in front of him so he could catch it and run. Even though it's behind him a little bit, you still got to be able to catch that ball there. You know, that's you know, you don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, but the ball's in your hands, catch it and get the first down.
Spoken like a true quarterback right there, Mark.
The receiver coach is probably going to tell him, put the ball in front of him so
right?
he can run. The quarterback's going, hey, you touched it. I got hit right when I threw the ball.
Exactly. Weck going to get the carry, has some daylight as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Going to bring up third down and 10 for Baraboo, and they are going to burn one of their 3 timeouts right here. Why don't we step away? 7-7 our score, 57 seconds left till halftime in the Sauk County Bowl on 57 Sports. Third down and 10, staring the Thunderbirds in the face right now. 57 seconds left until halftime, but Baraboo knocking on the door. Big down here. Turkington throws, and it is nearly picked off. Now it is. Batted around in the air, and finally it rests in the hands of Brooks Leister, and he returns it up ahead to the 25 or so, but a courtesy forward flag, I think, came after the interception. They might march a couple of yards off against the Eagles.
Well, it looked like Ben German did a great job coming off of his receiver, reacting to the ball, and got there in front of the receiver, tipped it up into the air, and then Brooks Leister with the interception. Great athletic play there, but it looked like there was one of those lookout blocks there that they got called for, going to march the ball back. I doubt they're going to be doing anything crazy here, going 80 yards right before a half, but it backs them up a little bit.
Second turnover of the night against the Thunderbirds. The Eagles have one, and that one really hurts because if you're Baraboo and Coach Turkington, you're thinking, hey, we're going to score here before halftime. We're going to have a lead at the half, and it goes away just like that.
Well, I'm not sure the distance for their field goal kicker from where they were. There would have been about a 41-yard field goal attempt if they hadn't got any more yards on that play. But if they make that catch there, now they're working with time, and they could punch it into the end zone or get even closer for a field goal attempt.
Sauk here is going to start from their own 9-yard line. They do have 50 seconds. They got 3 timeouts. They're going to try and move the ball here a little bit as the pass is complete as Everett finds Seth Patterson.
Just a quick hook route by Patterson out there about 8-9 yards just to catch the ball and get down. Clock is still running, though, so it looks like they're not in too big of a hurry here, but give it a couple of shots.
Yeah, I thought as long as they were throwing that they might use a timeout. They did not. So on second down, the give is going to be up the middle, and that should do it for our first half. Unless Baraboo calls a timeout here, I think both teams are content. Yeah. Let this clock go ahead and run out. So 7-7 will be our halftime score. A spirited crowd, spirited play to go along with it. And we got ourselves an evenly matched football game on homecoming night here in Sauk City. Again, 7-7, and it is time now for the Midwest Engine halftime show. Take it away.
Thanks, Rich. We do have a halftime show coming up thanks to Midwest Engine Services. We'll meet the athletic director. He's his second year. We'll get to know him a little bit better. We'll also learn the real reason why the band director is hobbling around on crutches tonight. Also, it's homecoming for the Sauk Prairie Eagles, and we'll learn what's been going on from the seniors. They've been dressing up all week and find out which day was their favorite. I think Pajama Day would be mine. We have all that and more coming up for the halftime show thanks to Midwest Engine Services. You're watching Wisconsin's 57 television. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's halftime here in Sauk Prairie where they're taking on the Baraboo Thunderbirds. Right now I have with me Matt Kaczynski. He's the band director here at Sauk Prairie. Thanks for taking a moment before your halftime performance, Matt. So you're the band director for the marching band, but so much more. What are the other bands?
Yeah, here at Sauk Prairie, we have a really comprehensive music program that has concert bands, marching band that we're going to show off tonight, jazz ensembles, pep bands, period ensembles. You name it, we're a pretty busy department up here in Sauk Prairie.
That means you're a busy guy because you're the fearless leader. You have an event coming up that you mentioned. What is that you want to promote?
Yeah, up next week Saturday up here right on this field in Sauk Prairie, we're having our marching band invitational with marching bands coming from all over the state to compete and giving their shows off and having a really good show. Tickets are $8 for adults and $5 for seniors and kids to come on in. So come on and check it down. Starts at 6 o'clock.
So you're hosting and competing in that event.
We'll be hosting, but we'll be an exhibition due to rules. We can't actually compete at our home show.
Ah, got it. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. You're hobbling around tonight on crutches. What's the real story?
Turns out I wanted to demonstrate to the kids that I still had it. Turns out I don't. I jumped from a top of bleachers, not real good for an MCL. So we'll get through it and we'll do it to it then.
So no sexy zip line accidents.
No, unfortunately, I wish it was.
Alrighty, well, good luck with that. Good luck with your bands. Thanks so much, Matt. This was a Midwest Engine Services halftime show interview. We'll be right back. The Baraboo Thunderbirds. The halftime show is thanks to Midwest Engine Services, and right now I have Josh Boyer. He's the activities director at Sauk Prairie High School. Thanks for joining me, Josh. So what is the state of the union in athletics?
Yeah, well, we have a busy week of homecoming, but in general the fall sports has started off before school started, but we've had a busy year so far. We've had some highlights. We actually kind of started in the spring. Our lacrosse won the state championship, and that's kind of fed over here in the fall, and we've had some highlights with our girls volleyball team has been doing well. We've had some successes there, and I'll speak to there in a minute. But yeah, we've been doing well. We have activities. Our marching band's gonna be in there in a second at halftime. They're always busy, so we've had a lot going on here, which is great for our school and our students.
It is, and you mentioned someone in volleyball had a new record.
Yeah, one of our volleyball players, WI57, actually had a career over 1,000 digs in her whole high school career, which we checked our records and no one in Sauk Prairie High School history had that, so very, very impressive. We've also had two of our members of our music department perform at the Orpheum Theater recently in Madison, so we've had a lot of students that are being highlighted, which is awesome to have it.
All right, and now, Josh, this is your second year as activities director. How about a quick get to know you a little bit better? So, here we go. iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
What was your first paying job?
First paying job, I set up big party tents that you would see at like a state fair. Yep, that was me.
How about your first car?
First car was actually an Eagle Summit, which I don't even know if they make them anymore, but that only lasted for a couple weeks because unfortunately I got in an accident, was rear-ended, and that car was gone.
How appropriate that you're a Sauk Prairie Eagle now. And before you became activities director, what was your career?
I actually was in marketing, and I worked at Harley-Davidson in their marketing department.
Alrighty, nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll be right back. We have more right here on 57 Sports. And welcome back. This is the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. You're watching the A1 Furniture High School Bowl Series. And we're in Sauk Prairie right now. With me, I have some Sauk Prairie High School seniors. Thanks for joining me, Callie and Claire. Now, it's homecoming, and you guys have been preparing all week with some crazy fun stuff. I noticed that you had dress-up days every day of the week. So what were some of those days?
So on Monday, we had Pajama Day, and then on Tuesday, we had Wisconsin Day. Wednesday was tie-dye, and then Thursday was Nerd Day, and Friday, our favorite, of course, was Spirit Day.
I have to say, I think my favorite would be Pajama Day.
That one was very nice to go to school in our pajamas, I'll say.
So what's the point of the dress-up days?
The point for the dress-up days is just get us ready for Friday for the big game and get everyone in the school spirit.
Absolutely. And did you have a favorite?
Probably Spirit Day.
The Spirit Day. And who decides that?
The student council decides that.
Right. Now, you had a pep rally today. Your homecoming is coming up. And what was that pep rally highlight?
The pep rally just kind of highlights every class that's in the school and highlights all the sports and extracurricular activities that are involved in the school. And it gets everybody involved. And we do a bunch of different activities to get every class involved.
Every class, not just the seniors.
Yes.
Speaking of seniors, so you're both seniors, and what's the best part so far about being a senior?
I would say the best part is finally being able to be a leader and really show the underclassmen what it's like to make an impact on our community and do some good things.
I'll ask you what the real reason is later. That was a very nice answer.
I think being a leader, as she said, and getting everybody involved and taking classes that will help me in the future.
All right. Well, good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Claire and Callie. This was a Midwest Engine Services halftime report. We'll be right back. And welcome back. It is halftime here at the Sauk Prairie High School, where Sauk Prairie Eagles are taking on the Baraboo Thunderbirds. Right now I have Aaron Andrews, who's the assistant principal at Sauk Prairie High School. Thanks for taking a minute here at the halftime show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So you were saying earlier that there's something new about the scheduling at high school this year.
Yeah, we are in our first year of running a trimester schedule, which is a little different than a traditional high school where they have semester classes. And so we have 12-week trimesters, and we're 4 weeks into it and off to a good start.
All right. Why did you decide to try this change?
Well, we were looking for an optimal timing of classes for learning and teaching, and we were thinking around 60 to 70 minutes, and our staff did a bunch of research, and the best option for us was a trimester schedule with 5 classes, and yeah, so far, so good.
All right, and so the kids are adjusting. How about the teachers?
Well, we had a long off season trying to redo classes and work on curriculum, and it's a learning process, and some are ahead of others, but everybody so far has been pretty positive.
So one of the advantages is that there are fewer classes per day?
Yeah, and so what we were hoping was to slow things down a little bit. So with 5 classes, teachers have less students have a less of a course load, and hopefully reducing some of the out-of-class work. And we've heard good things about that from students and staff.
All righty, well, good luck with that new change in the high school. This is Aaron Andrews. He's the assistant principal at Sauk Prairie High School. You're watching 57 Sports, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. We've had a great halftime so far. Wow, what a show that you guys are putting on tonight. I'm glad to introduce you to the superintendent of the school. This is Jeff Wright. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks. I'm actually the assistant superintendent. I can't claim that title, but we're glad to have you here. It's been a great game and a great halftime show.
Well, wonderful work you guys are doing, not only here at the school, but as we were chatting on the sidelines a little bit, you let me know that you're working with the Friends of the Great Sauk Trail, and what a group this is. So give viewers at home a little bit of an overview about what this is.
Sure. We're really excited to be opening in October the beginning of a 13-mile trail that will run from the Wisconsin River in Sauk City and eventually up to Devil's Lake State Park. The long-term plan is to connect to the 400 Trail in Reedsburg and to the state capitol.
And what Jeff shared with me a little bit off camera is that the DNR is anticipating that this is the most traveled trail once finished, because you're connecting the Wisconsin River to Devil's Lake, and a first time for something like that.
Yes, and connecting Madison to Devil's Lake State Park, so people will be able to jump on a bike and bike up to Devil's Lake State Park, and then someday all the way to the Mississippi River.
What a great story. I'm glad we ran into you tonight. A lot of things going on for folks to enjoy in the future. And one of the things that you're doing is raising money for this effort. There's been some great donations thus far, but if somebody at home wanted to help the effort, what would be a way that they could get involved?
Yes, we do need the help to continue the trail up to Devil's Lake State Park. You can learn more at greatsauksstatetrail.org. That's our website. You can learn more about the trail, see photos of construction, and donate online.
Well, thanks for the involvement, and thanks for your work here at the school. Again, this is the Assistant Superintendent, Jeff Wright, and this has been a Midwest Engine halftime show. Hope you had fun. We've got more game coming up right after the break.
Halftime festivities over here on homecoming night in Sauk City as we are getting set for the second half of a competitive football game. I'm Rich Reynolds, along with former Badger quarterback and Madison Abundant Life head coach Mark Martinez. And Mark, we didn't see a lot of explosive offense in the first half, not a lot of scoring, but what we do have is a pretty competitive football game.
We certainly do, and we expect that coming from teams that are one's 1-5, the other's 0-6. But I'll tell you, the festive atmosphere that we have tonight, both of these teams are playing, and with the atmosphere we have at this stadium, it feels like it's a conference championship game.
No doubt. I mean, unparalleled for anywhere that we have been all season long. Well, first off, it's a beautiful drive to come up here and into the hills and the bluffs. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous right off the Wisconsin River. Second of all, this crowd has been into it from jump and has been really impressive. Way more impressive than the offenses in the first half. Sauk, -9 yards rushing in the first half, just 60 total yards. A lot of that came on the first drive of the night. For Baraboo, 99 yards on the ground, 27 in the air, 126 total yards So not a lot of offense. That is reflected in our score here at halftime. Baraboo will get the ball to start the second half in what was an extended halftime because of the homecoming activities, but it seemed to go pretty fast as the band was terrific, and Baraboo is going to start off the second half in great field position, and a late flag comes out on top of it as well, as Elijah Jorgensen is clapping on the bottom of that pile. Maybe the field position's not going to be as good as we thought.
Well, our replay ended a little too quickly. That really couldn't see quite what happened. I saw a Sauk Prairie Eagle player get up clapping his hands, so potentially there was a kind of a late shenanigans by Baraboo that's going to back them up a little bit here.
Wow, and that is really silly because the ball was going to be about the 45-yard line, and when you're near midfield to start a drive, that's a good thing, but instead a personal foul is going to wipe out the good field position for the Thunderbirds.
Well, let's talk about how both teams scored in the first half, Rich. So the Eagles got the ball at their own 3-yard line after Baraboo fumbled and punched it in. And then Baraboo was able to get a bobbled punt on their own 30-yard line and were able to punch that in for the equalizer. It seems like whoever makes the fewest mistakes is going to win this ball game tonight.
Yeah, both teams benefiting from the turnovers. Baraboo's made 2 of them. Sauk has made 1, but all the turnovers tonight have been costly, and now they give us to Weck on first down, and surprise, surprise, we have a negative gain on first down.
Well, that play looked like it started off bad, but again, a slightly errant snap. It wasn't quite on target where you'd want it to be. The back looked like he was searching for the ball. The quarterback had to reach to his right, then bring it back to the left, and it just completely messed up the timing and allowed that aggressive Sauk Prairie defense to get into the backfield for a loss.
And now a Courtesy Ford penalty flag as well. Courtesy Ford, your new truck destination at Courtesy Ford. It's courtesy that counts. So the refs still conferring over this one. And for a flag that flew pretty early, I'm surprised it's taken them that long. They got it figured out. And it looks like an illegal substitution against Baraboo. And I don't know why Sauk wouldn't just decline that. Could they decline that? If they could, there was a loss on the play. I would think
keep
would
it at
just go ahead
second and
take
15.
That. Yeah, second and 15 is better than first and 15.
I think that's what they're discussing with the head coach here with was shot on the sideline.
Yeah, it would really be no reason to take a 5-yard penalty when you've already gotten a 5-yard loss.
Well,
now all of a sudden, this is a
yarder.
long penalty. So 10 yards, so that would be the reason. So what's the call on that, Mark?
Looks like it's going to be considered a dead ball, 12 men on the field, so the play didn't happen. They just get mark off the 10 yards.
So first down and 20 is going to be the call, and now a bobbled snap and a sack. A Green Bay Packers give back sack on that one, and a big loss on the play, and Baraboo is moving straight backwards after taking the opening kickoff back near midfield.
Well, Bryant Schaff just came off the edge, untouched, the outside linebacker, just a pure run blitz, and got to the quarterback before anything could happen. And again, second and a mile.
Second and 34. The ball is on the 6-yard line, and a bobbled snap, and it goes into the end zone, and it's going to be a safety as Turkington falls on it. And I tell you what, Coach Turkington couldn't have had a worse start to the second half here. Just when it looked like his team was going to start in excellent field position, a couple of penalties, a bad snap, and it's a safety.
You know, I know these kids are doing the best that they can out there, Rich, but in some senses, this kind of reminds me of a youth game where they just can't get any momentum going offensively. Snaps are off, the players are bobbling, making mistakes, and the next thing you know, you're going the complete opposite direction here. They should have had the ball at the 45-yard line. Next thing you know, it's a safety, and now they got to give it back to the Eagles. So, again, as we mentioned, both scores in the first half came off of turnovers, and it's a team that makes the least amount of mistakes that might win this ball game.
You know, and I'm kind of surprised we actually have the Baraboo coaching staff that is sitting right next to us up in the box. They are probably the least animated, least demonstrative coaching staff we have seen all season long. We've seen coaching staffs let the expletives fly, throw things, bang things, not a peep out of them on positive or negative plays.
And you wonder, with the record that they have, maybe it's a little bit of exasperation.
Free kick is coming now, and the punt going to be fielded at about the 35-yard line. Good return by Breining, still on his feet. And now he breaks free down the left sideline, hurdles the man into the end zone. Touchdown, Sauk Prairie on a You Move Me touchdown. And I'm not sure, it looked like there was a flag on the field, but no, the referee signals it is a touchdown on the long free kick return by the Eagles, and what a huge play.
Well, once again, from those Breinigs, we talked about them being a staple in the Sauk Prairie community. 22 is Parker Breinig, who in a matter of seconds, a 9-point swing to take a commanding lead in this contest.
What a strange start to the second half for the Baraboo Thunderbirds, and for the Sauk Eagles. Hey, you know what? They just took full advantage of everything that just happened. Our new score, Sauk Prairie 16, Baraboo 7 from the Sauk County Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on 57 Sports. Well, we just had a safety here, and then on the ensuing free kick, it was a long return by Parker Breinig, who was able to take it from about his own 33-yard line all the way to the house. As I thought a couple Thunderbirds had the angle on him, he hurdled over one and went into the end zone. And just like that, it's a two-score game.
It certainly is. And Coach Turkington over on the Baraboo sidelines has to be talking to his team to settle down, calm down. Plenty of time left in the second half. Let's get some things going, stop shooting ourselves in the foot, and give us a chance here.
Now Jorgensen's kickoff, his second of the second half, and they haven't even been on offense yet, have the Eagles, but they've scored 9 points in the second half without even having an offensive play from scrimmage. As we take a look at the replay here on the free kick, and really it was just kind of tiptoeing his way through the mess of players and then streaking down the sideline for Breinig to get to the end zone.
Well, he had to come up to catch that punt, and he caught it on a dead sprint going towards Baraboo. And once he got through that first line of defense and cut it to the sideline, it was off to the races, and he had speed to make it.
So now Turkington takes over at their own 20-yard line after the touchback, and a give up the middle goes to Weck, who's able to get positive yards on first down.
And you like to see that, Rich. Positive yards, 4 or 5 yards on first down, nothing fancy. If you get the snap there to the quarterback and the running back gets a clean handoff, your linemen get a little bit of a push, you can have some positive things happen. And this Thunderbird offense just has to get a couple of these things going to get some momentum back.
Weck, 12 carries for 32 yards in the first half. Second down, and we'll call it a long 5 as the give is to Weck once again, and this time he's gang tackled, and it'll bring up third down.
So third and short again gives you a good option here to either run or pass. Baraboo has that tall tight end, and again, you know, he's done a lot of out patterns. It'd be nice to see him to do an in one because the defense is going to be watching for that out route. Maybe that quick pop pass over the middle for a first down would be just the method for these guys to get this offense going.
Yeah, we've seen a couple passes completed to Bloom, one of them for a touchdown. A couple more have gone to Brown. Turkington looks right or left and is picked off. Nobody home. The only one there is Ben German, who streaks down the sideline for a You Move Me touchdown, a pick six. And this game has gotten out of hand as Sauk Prairie continues to score without running any offense.
Well, simple miscommunication on the route there. The receiver, instead of doing a curl at about 5 yards inside, the quarterback thought he was going to do it. Receiver must have thought he could get past the cornerback and kept on going. The quarterback threw it to the spot where the hook pattern was going to end up for the first down, and it went right into the DB's hands, who scooted down the sideline for a touchdown.
Wow, in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half, we have had a safety, a free kick return for a touchdown, and now a pick six. And Sauk has a 15-point lead here on 57 Sports. This game is turned on a dime as the fired up crowd here in Sauk City all of a sudden has a lot to be fired up about, as Sauk Prairie has scored 16 points in a matter of 2.5 minutes, and they haven't even touched the ball on offense here in the second half.
Well, the Sauk Prairie defense has to be feeling really good about itself. They got the momentum going. They figure like they've had this Baraboo offense figured out the whole game anyway. And now they've been able to put some points on the board to help their offense out. They got to be feeling really good about themselves right now.
And you would have to feel really good as the kickoff is finally corralled by the Thunderbirds. Almost a disaster right there. If you have the Sauk Prairie defense on your fantasy team, you just got a whole bunch of points as they got a safety. The special team scored for them, a pick six as well. And so now Baraboo has got to move the ball. They have yet to really sustain a long drive, though, yet here tonight.
They haven't, and their offense hasn't been able to sustain drives the whole season. So they're looking at averaging about 11 points a game. They only have about 400 yards rushing, so we'll see if they can get anything going here. Maybe a crease with Weck back there, but it's tough sledding.
He was fighting for yards, didn't get much. Why don't we head back down to the sidelines right now for Dale Seating and Air Report. Go ahead.
Thanks, Rich. You know, it's 58 degrees down here, but things are actually staying pretty hot when we look at the scoreboard, and some of that is thanks to their Spirit Squad. With me, I have the coach of the Spirit Squad for Sauk Prairie. This is Brittany Buchholz, right? Did I get it right? Okay, thanks for taking a minute here. I know you guys are busy cheering on the football team. A lot of new things with your team this year, starting with you. This is your first year?
Yes.
And what's some of your backgrounds?
I cheered all through high school, and I had 2 years of coaching competition prior to coming to Sauk.
Right, so you're getting them off to a good start. Also something new is that your team is, I think you call blended. What does that mean?
So we opted for one team this year, just varsity only, no JV. So we took all of our girls that qualified and put them on one squad this year.
Alrighty. Also new are those sharp-looking uniforms?
Yes, we just got them on Wednesday.
And that's got to be exciting for the girls, not only because they're new, but it sort of celebrates this newness.
Yep, and it kind of symbolizes bringing both teams together into one.
Alrighty, well, I can tell that they want you back. Thanks again. This is Brittany. She's the Spirit coach, the Spirit team squad coach. This is a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. We'll be right back.
I think Janet could jump right in there with the Spirit squad tonight. She's flashy. It's kind of hard to see tonight, but she's got shiny pants on, and she brightens up everybody's day. Janet, nice job talking with the Spirit squad. Fourth down once again for Baraboo. They're going to have to punt it away, and this has been a disastrous start to the second half for the Thunderbirds.
It really has. Not the start they anticipated when they went into half, knotted up at 7.
Jorgensen's going to field it on a bounce, and he's got room all of a sudden. Couple of shifty moves, and now he's streaking down the left sideline. Elijah Jorgensen with a good return near the 20-yard line where he is finally knocked out of bounds. Everything is coming up roses for Sauk Prairie on defense and special teams.
Well, when you're 0-6 and you go into halftime, you're feeling okay about the game, and then the second half starts like this, the momentum can shift so quickly. The Eagles are flying high right now, and the Thunderbirds can't get anything going right. And this could be one of those things that if they don't put a finger in the dike here, this could get out of hand pretty quickly with this Eagles with all the momentum.
Total yardage so far tonight more than 2-1 in favor of Baraboo, yet they trail by 16 on the scoreboard. Here's Dawson Everett, and Everett is able to get good yardage on first down, and one of the few times that they've run that option play where Everett's actually kept the football.
Yep, sometimes that's a planned quarterback keep. Oftentimes it's a reading the linemen, seeing what they're doing with it. Everett's proven to be a good running quarterback, and so he's not afraid to tuck that ball and go.
Ball on the 18-yard line, empty set here for Everett as now Jerron comes in motion. They fake the jet sweep to him, and Everett's going to take it himself to the left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Dawson Everett, 18 yards to the house, and this game has gotten out of hand.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Everett is leading the team in rushing touchdowns. He has 4 on the season. Now he's got his 5th, and you can see why. Faked the jet sweep coming across and just went right up the middle there, leading with his lineman leading him to the end zone.
18-yard run to pay dirt for Dawson Everett. It is now 29-7. Sauk on top. Jorgensen lining up for the point after touchdown. The hold is good. Kick is up. It splits the uprights, and it's now 30-7. Sauk, as we will once again head to the sidelines and catch some more cheerleaders.
Thanks, Rich. We do have one more Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. We just spoke with the Spirit team captain, or the coach, I'm sorry, and now I have some of the seniors from that team with me. I have Josie, Ellie, and Sydney. Thanks for taking a minute here. You guys are doing a great job. It's showing on the scoreboard, too. You're cheering your guys on. Your accomplishments so far, you want to talk about as a team?
I think our biggest accomplishment this year was our new uniforms. That was a big thing that we wanted to get for this year. And then we also placed first at cheer camp for our division.
And that's over the summer, right?
Yes.
It is. Okay, what are your practices like? Because you guys look really good, so you must be working hard.
Yeah, so pretty much at practice, we get there, we stretch, we practice our jumps that we haven't really done many tonight because there's been a lot going on. And then we work on stunts. We've done a few so far. We plan on doing more the second half. And pretty much we just work stunts over and over again and try to get bigger and better.
How many times a week is your practice?
We have practice every day after school for 2 hours.
Wow, that's a lot. Now, all of you are seniors and you've all cheered for all 4 years. What have you gotten from it? Why did you choose to do it all 4 years?
Well, I decided to cheer all 4 years because I thought it would be a good experience to grow as a person and also make some really great friendships with these girls. We've grown really close over the past 4 years and we're all like sisters now, and it's just a good time and we've all progressed together. I think that's the best part of it.
All righty, well, congratulations on getting to your senior year. Good luck as you move on, and I'll let you get back to the game. This was a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report.
Finally, something to cheer about on the opposite sideline, as believe it or not, we were tied at 7 at halftime. It's 30-7 Sauk, but a big kickoff return from Braden Scarborough, and it does mean that Baraboo's going to start on the Sauk side of things, and they needed that.
They certainly did. 23 unanswered points by the Eagles, offense, defense, and special teams contributing there, and only, if I do my math right, 4.5 minutes here since the start of this third quarter.
Unbelievable turn of events. We had ourselves a competitive game at halftime, but it has been all Eagles here in the second half. The give is going to be to Weck, and he has a big gain as now the Thunderbirds look charged up and get one of their better gains on first down all night long.
Well, one of the silver linings for Baraboo, if you're a fan of the Thunderbirds, is that their offense only has 2 or 3 seniors contributing. So they might be taking their lumps this year, but they got all their skill coming back next year, including their quarterback, Weck, who just ran that, their big tight end, their leading wide receiver. So they got a lot of weapons that are getting experience, and next year could be a bright year for this offense.
Second down now, the give straight up the middle, and close to first down yardage is going to be Weck. Looks like they got him just shy, and it's going to be third down. I tell you what, Baraboo not only has the challenge of making their team better and turning it around, and they haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade, but they got to do it in the shadows of Wanakee. The Badger North is tough. Third down now and 1, and Weck spun around, and I don't know if he got there. Looks like the officials are going to mark him just short of the first down. Good job by that Sauk defense.
Well, going back to the second down play, the snap was off once again, which messed up the timing in the backfield, allowed the Eagle defense to get penetration and stop it for maybe a half a yard gain. And then, again, great Eagle defense on third down, and you're faced with 4th and short.
4th down and 1. I would think that goose play, would be coming up, and it is, and Turkington's going to be able to push forward for a 1st down. Believe it or not, that's actually been one of their more successful plays of the night, that quarterback dive. Gives them a
you get a direct
first
snap
down.
from underneath the center.
Yeah.
You're not going to mess up the center snap unless you just flat out drop it. And then again, the guards both step towards the center, just like what a wedge looks like, almost like a snowplow, and just try to forge ahead for a couple of yards to get the 1st down.
3 turnovers tonight for the Thunderbirds has led to 14 Eagle points as Weck is going to get the ball once again. Not much doing for the senior tailback. Hey, I want to say a thank you to 10 Pin Alley. They bring us our pregame show each and every week. At 10 Pin Alley, they offer more than just bowling. 10 Pin Alley in Fitchburg, let the good times roll. Why don't we head back down to the sidelines once again. Lots of festivities here in Sauk. Let's check out what's going on.
We're going to take a break from the game for a little bit of fun. It's a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. As you can see, I got some friendly-looking fellows surrounding me. Most of them can't talk, so this is going to be a fun interview because we're going to dance, we're going to have some fun. We're here because these folks are here to support the Sauk Prairie Eagles. And you guys having a good time so far? So the reason that they're all dressed up is they're going to be doing a race in just a little bit, so hopefully we'll catch a little bit of it. But they're on the sidelines. I've got U.S. Cellular, State Farm, Culver's, and they're all here to support the Eagles and their team. So what I want to show viewers at home is you guys are able to do some dancing, right? Support your team. Show us your best dance moves. Can you show us? Show us a little dancing. Here we go. This is all in support of the Eagles. So we're having some fun in between football. We'll get back to the game, but check out the race. It'll be coming up in a little bit. Thanks, Dale's Heating and Air, for supporting our sideline report.
At least those mascots tonight are in no danger of overheating, as one of our cooler nights that we've had all season long, as another positive gain for Weck's going to bring up 3rd down and short, as you get a good look at the head coach of the Sauk Prairie Eagles, Scott Shutton. He's got to be pretty happy about what he's seen so far in the 2nd half.
Well, this Baraboo defense was aided by an unsportsmanlike penalty conduct early when we went to that break there. So that's how they got the 1st down when it was down to 4th and short.
Student section tonight fired up, and they are full. The bleachers that are right below us, the home side of things, absolutely packed here tonight. SRO for the Eagles on a homecoming night, and now a 1st down as a good strong run straight up the middle. And I think that was Vodak who got through. Maybe it was Weck. Let's give that carry to Weck, as might want to see one of those Pacific Union financial replays. You got one of those? No? No replay? Okay. We'll give it to Weck. So 1st and goal now, and the give's going to be straight up the middle, and a big push ahead by the Thunderbirds, and they're going to get in the end zone for a You Move Me touchdown. Nothing but brute strength right there on the Baraboo score.
That's absolutely right, Rich. Coach Turkey just decided, you know what? We're not going to go out of gun anymore. We're going to go right under center, and we're just going to zero wedge it with a tailback and run 30 wedge, 31 wedge, and just use our offensive line to our strength and just plow forward and get a couple of yards until we make it into the end zone. And they finally did.
Best drive of the night for the Thunderbirds, as the extra point is good, and it makes it a 30-14 game. So let's go ahead and take a timeout. We'll come back to Sauk City. It's the Sauk Prairie Bowl, on the Sauk County Bowl, that is, on 57 Sports. Thunderbirds get their first score of the 2nd half, and it came on a short run as we take a look at the replay, and I'm still not sure, under that sea of humanity, I think it was Michael Weck who is down at the bottom of that pile, who comes away with the touchdown. And the Eagles definitely needed something positive to happen here in the 2nd half, a 2nd half that has belonged to Sauk Prairie.
Yeah, and I'm interested. that they could have gone for 2 on that with the offensive struggles. Might as well go for it. But the
little onside kick, and
they got it.
The Thunderbirds think they have recovered it. There sure were a lot of white jerseys around the football as they did that little dink kick where the kicker even tries to go after it and recover it. And down at the bottom of that pile, the ball's going to belong to the Sauk Prairie Eagles. Wow. Somehow Sauk came away with that football, and it's going to be first down Sauk. I don't know how Baraboo didn't get that ball.
Yeah, they had 2 white jerseys around that ball. And again, underneath the scrum of that, just the strongest guy can pull that ball away when the pile unpiles, and the Eagles have it.
After the drive that they just had, getting that would have really switched the momentum in this game. Instead, Sauk is able to keep it with a 16-point lead. First down near midfield as Dawson Everett back out on the field has only run 2 offensive plays here in the second half. Elijah Jorgensen unable to get past the line of scrimmage. Good Baraboo defense once again. Sauk has really struggled running the football.
They have, and you got to give credit for both of these defenses playing really well tonight. A couple of lapses here and there for both of them. But for the most part, the defenses have played really well. Got some special teams and turnovers that have obviously been able to put some points up on the board for Sauk, though.
2nd and 10, empty set for Everett and company. 2 wide receivers split out to the far side. Well, that would be the near side for us, but far for the quarterback. Duran goes in motion. Everett fakes it to him and is running left and picks up about 4 or 5 yards to bring up 3rd down.
Well, and on the season, coming into the ball game tonight, the Eagle offense has passed for 1,103 yards and only rushed for 349. So their offensive line is pretty good at pass blocking. Run blocking they're not known for, obviously. So I haven't anticipated this running game to get on track tonight. But certainly the Baraboo defense is covering up all the gaps for preventing the Eagles from running.
Yeah, Sauk with a grand total of 20 yards on the ground here tonight, and on 3rd down and 6, it's going to become 3rd and 1 as Baraboo was bringing the blitz, but they got a little over anxious.
Yeah, you got to be able to control yourself a little bit. You know that they're probably going to run the ball or try to, and you're trying to get your blitz package going, and these guys are trying to time it up with the snap of the ball. They just got a little over anxious.
So now 3rd down and very short. Once again, an empty set, that is, being shown by the Eagles. Everett looks right side, connects. Elijah Jorgensen, little slant, and he's still on his feet. Finally brought down at about the 25-yard line, and a quick pickup of 17 yards and a Festival Foods first down.
And again, that's been their 1-2 punch that they've had all season, the 2 playmakers that they have. They have a couple other ones, but primarily Everett and Jorgensen, both running and one throwing to the other, as you can see right there.
5 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown for Elijah Jorgensen tonight. He actually might be up for the offensive player of the night, believe it or not. There has not been a lot of yardage nor a lot of candidates that are looking to take down that very prestigious award. As the give now is going to be to Duran on the jet sweep, and they've been threatening to give him the football a lot here tonight, and he finally gets a carry.
And again, that's just fundamentally sound defense, defending against a jet sweep. Oftentimes you give that to the fastest guy on the team, try to get to the edge of the defense and stress them from sideline to sideline. But if your defense flows well, the linebackers come up and get off their blocks, they can shut that thing down, which they did just there.
2nd down, we will call it 7 with the ball on the 23. Empty set yet again for Sauk. That seems to be their bread and butter. And a give up the middle, and the Baraboo defense up to the challenge, holding them short of a first down, and it will bring up 3rd down.
Well, one of the reasons that the Eagles are trying to run this is because Baraboo has 2 safeties. And when they go 5 wides, the defense is spread sideline to sideline. They only have 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers, and so they're thinking they got man on man. It gives Everett, a very good runner, a chance to take it up the gut.
3rd down and 3 now. 5 wide once again. Everett now is going to give it to Jorgensen on the jet sweep, looking to pick up a block, and thought he did for a second, and maybe he did as he dives forward, and it looks like he got just enough to move the sticks.
Well, one of the things you have to have when you run those jets are good blocking wide receivers. You see it at all levels, NFL, college, especially the Wisconsin Badgers. You'll see tomorrow when they run their jet sweep, their wide receivers are asked to block, and those are blocks you have to hold for 3, 4, 5 seconds. And if you got good blocking receivers, the jet can be productive.
Red zone opportunity here for Sauk. 1st and 10, they spot the ball at the 15. Everett going straight ahead, tries the right side, dives forward, big hit as he picks up good yards on 1st down.
And again, just that quarterback dive play when they got their offensive receivers spread out, but he took the brunt of that with the linebackers just collapsing in on him.
9 carries, 19 yards as time expires here in the 3rd quarter. One that was owned by the home team. The Sauk Prairie Eagles lead it 30-14 at the end of 3 from the Sauk County Bowl, as it is time now for the mascot race. Yeah, you saw Jessa preview it, and they're lining up, getting ready on the track for the mascot race. I don't know who I like in this one, but seen as it's homecoming, I would almost think the Sauk Prairie Eagle would have to win, wouldn't he?
I don't know if he's starting the race or he's going to be in it, but I'm going to go off. I love Culver's, so I'm going to take that Culver's guy right there. He looks delicious.
Going with Scoopy. McGruff, the crime dog, in it as well. Scoopy is out in front. He's taken the lead, but here comes the Eagle, and breaking the tape first is the Sauk Prairie Eagle. It's
rigged, I
homecoming,
tell you,
Mark.
it's rigged.
Of course it is. 12 minutes to go in this one. We'll be back for the 4th quarter. You're watching the A1 Furniture and Mattress High School Bowl Series on 57 Sports. Mascot race, Scoopy almost came away with the win, but at the end he got licked by the Sauk Prairie Eagle. 4th quarter just getting underway as Everett throws over the middle, incomplete, but a flag is down as we're back out at Sauk Prairie High School. Rich Reynolds alongside Mark Martinez, and Mark, a 16-point deficit for Baraboo to start this 4th quarter in what was a strange 3rd quarter where Sauk put up almost all the points without running any offense at all.
Yeah, the first 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter was unbelievable, where they scored on a safety, a punt return, a pick 6, and then an offensive touchdown themselves with Everett running the ball in. So amazing turnaround for the Eagles, making it a happy homecoming so far for the Sauk Prairie contingent crowd.
Flag on the play marched off against Sauk Prairie, as it is going to bring up now 2nd down, and it looks like about 15 or so for the Eagles, as that one marched them back quite a bit. Duran in motion, Everett fakes to him, runs straight up the middle, and he's driven down after a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and long. So for Baraboo, imperative here that they get a stop, because technically it's still a 2-score game.
It certainly is. You know, they had a little bit of momentum going there. If they could have punched one in, it's a 1-score game. But if the Eagles score here, it's pretty much out of reach.
3rd down, 13. 5 wide once again. Everett in the pocket, getting pressured, and he threw behind his intended receiver on the play, Seth Patterson, and it was the blitz coming off the edge that forced the quarterback to rush that throw.
Joe Zamanovich, a blitzing linebacker, came in and delivered the blow on Everett just as he was throwing the ball. Made his throw slightly off target there, but again, 4th down. It looks like the 1-2 punch of Everett and Jorgensen are going to kick a field goal here, holder and kicker.
Everett stood in and took that big hit. So now Jorgensen comes on, a 35-yard attempt, plenty of leg on the kick, and it is no good as it sails wide right, as that would have made it a 3-score game. Instead, the Thunderbirds hold thanks to the pressure brought on third down. 30-14 Sauk, 11-10 left in this one. It's the Sauk County Bowl, and it's 57 Sports. (30-14) as Baraboo back out on offense in what has become a critical drive for them, and not much going on first down for Weck, who has been the workhorse so far here tonight for Baraboo. In fact, his 23rd carry for 72 yards and a touchdown.
Well, Rich, we got to give both of these teams credit. We talk about the Badger North, always a very difficult conference. They got Wanakee, one of the best teams in the state.
As a pitch is going to go to Weck, it comes near side, and he's able to find some blocking and first down yardage up to the 35, 14 yards on the carry for Weck. That is his longest carry of the night.
Over that right side of the offensive line, which has been their most productive side. What I was mentioning with Wanakee and DeForest last week, Baraboo lost 41-0, and Sauk lost 69-6 to Wanakee. And both of these teams have come back with good emotion and effort tonight. Got to give them a lot of credit for that.
Absolutely, as first down yardage once again, and now Baraboo starting to get it in chunks as Weck is up near midfield, and another 14-yard gain. He right now is at 100 yards.
So again, they're just going real basic with their offense. Under center, just straight dives or tosses, keeping things within the tackle box. They feel like they have some momentum, like they can get a push on that Eagle defensive front and get some momentum going.
1st and 10, the pitch is to Weck. He's going to try the left side. He had blocking once again and brings it out over midfield. Right before that carry, he was at 25 carries for 100 yards tonight, but now actually the running game is starting to pick up more yards than it has all night long.
And again, football's a game of attrition, not only during the season, but over the course of a singular game. The lines kind of get a little bit soft as you prod and try to look for holes.
Yeah, that is definitely in evidence here tonight as Weck is close to another Festival Foods first down. And it's just Baraboo getting chunks of yardage. They're not doing anything fancy, nothing too slick, straight ahead football, and the offensive line taking charge.
And you can see they're going tempo. They're picking up their huddle pace. They're getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're shortening their splits and just firing off the ball.
3rd down and 1, and a botch play here, but Turkington is going to turn it into positive yardage. In fact, 5 yards on the keeper and a Festival Foods first down, and Baraboo doing exactly what they need to do to stay in this football game.
Well, they're really fortunate there. They could have been sacked for a loss on that play, but Turkington just spun out of it and was able to get the first down.
Again, it is Weck that lines up in the backfield, and a timeout by Sauk. And you know what? I think that's pretty good just to break up the tempo that was being employed there by the Thunderbird offense. All right, we'll take a break with them. A You Break, I Fix timeout. 30-14 our score on 57 Sports. Stick around after the game. Post-game festivities include the Brunzell Lumber Offensive MVP, the Little Strokes Swim Academy Defensive MVP, and our main trophy presentation presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on our always exciting post-game show. We will also have the Jacobson Brothers plays of the game. There are plenty of them, and I have a feeling, looking at this Baraboo drive, that there might be a few more that we still are going to take a look at in this game. Weck now is stopped, and, you know, we said it right as the timeout happened. That was probably a good timeout by Coach Shutt right there because his defense was on its heels.
Yeah, you know, they're getting a little bit gassed when the other team's going tempo like they are and getting a little bit out of position. Just take a timeout, kind of collect your thoughts.
111 yards now for Weck. He will add to it. That's tough running there by the senior tailback as he's held just shy of another Festival Foods first down. Give him a gain of 7, and he now has 118 yards on the night.
And you see them going hurry up with the Sauk defensive front with their hands on their hips. They're feeling a little bit with that offensive line for Baraboo.
3rd and short. Weck straight up the middle using that offensive line surge. He's still pushing ahead, and he looks to have picked up another first down. The official spots have him pass the marker as the ref should go ahead and signal that, and they'll move the chains. And I'm surprised actually that Weck's not tired. It's just Weck right now for Baraboo.
Well, like they said, the ball's not heavy, so you're not going to get tired from carrying it a lot. But, you know, you get your momentum going, you start getting that ball, it seems like you don't get quite as tired as when the line is leaning on that defense.
Vodak now lines up at tailback, and we've seen him have a big run tonight, but not there as it's a big hit that drives Vodak into the ground on first down.
Nice form tackle there. I believe it's number 44, one of the linebackers for that Eagle defense, that Brooks Leister. We called his name quite a bit. Again, he's only a sophomore playing linebacker, filling a run gap really well there.
2nd down, and the pitch to Vodak, and he lost the handle on the ball. On the ground, Sauk will take it back, and that is one huge nail in the coffin. Wow, Baraboo was going right through the Eagle defense on the ground, and then they cough it up and prove once again why they don't have a win yet this season.
Well, the toss was right in his breadbasket there. He was just looking at the defense coming at him, and the ball just dribbled out of there, and the Eagle defense was there to recover.
That is unfortunate. 4th turnover of the night for Baraboo, because when we look at the stats at the end of this game, they're going to be very one-sided in total yards for the Baraboo Thunderbirds. But on the scoreboard, the things that they did, those 4 turnovers, poor special teams, is what has cost them here in this football game as Elijah Jorgensen gets negative yards on first down.
And we talk about it week in and week out, Rich, that that turnover margin is a key indicator of victory or defeat in any football game, especially at the high school level. When you're at that +2, +3 area, you're going to win the game 80% of the time. And the Eagles are definitely on the plus side of it tonight.
Yeah, anyone that watched the Packers-Bears games, I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this game did. The Bears had 4 turnovers in the game. There's no way for a team to overcome it on the NFL level, and they can't overcome it on the high school level either. It's just too much. Those extra possessions add up as a direct snap once again to Jorgensen. We haven't seen that since the first quarter, but it's employed to success here as a pretty good gain on 2nd down, makes it 3rd and short.
Yeah, you give a Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron Rodgers the ball a couple extra times a game, and he is certainly going to make you pay. And it happens at the high school level, too. The more possessions you give somebody, the more chances they have to score, and the Eagles are taking advantage.
3rd down, and another jump off sides by the Baraboo defense. This time is going to give the Eagles a first down without even trying. I think that's the 3rd or 4th time tonight they've been caught off sides.
And again, one of the things we talk about, again, week in and week out, is a little bit different of the rules. At the NFL level, you'll see Aaron Rodgers do that. The defense will jump offside. The play will continue because they allow it in the NFL. At the high school level, as soon as you cross the line of scrimmage, the play is blown dead, the penalty's marked off.
No free plays here on the prep level. Inside of 6 minutes now, and the Eagles very content to start bleeding that clock as Everett's going to look at that back judge and wait for him to start counting the final 5 seconds. Once he saw that, he gave it off to Jorgensen for a short gain on first down.
And again, a lot of love for Aaron Rodgers here, but I think Aaron Rodgers has done the best job in NFL history at taking advantage of that. When the defense jumps off sides, he knows he has a free play almost every time he tries for a home run and makes something out of nothing.
It's uncanny how good he is at doing it. It really is. 2nd down and 8. Everett again just taking a look straight at that back judge, and a good job here by the QB to eat as much time as he can off this clock, and why not? Puts Jorgensen in motion, swings the pass out to him. Jorgensen able to evade one tackler and bring up another 3rd and short.
So this should be, unless there's a miracle finish here, a victory for Sauk Prairie Eagles. They haven't won since the second week of the season in a non-conference crossover with the Badgers South. They beat Madison Edgewood 26-7. So they're going to go from 1-5 to 2-5 on the season and get their first conference win.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, too, is to be able to do that on homecoming.
Absolutely.
Real important game. Obviously, the entire community turned out for it on a gorgeous night for football. And Jorgensen is going to pick up another first down, and that means a whole bunch more clock is going to be bled here by the Eagles.
And we've been welcomed so well by the Sauk Prairie community. People have been just happy to see us. They've been open arms to the coaching staff, all the way to the administration and everybody else. Just want to give a big shout out and thank you to them. It's been a great homecoming. It looks like a fun atmosphere here. And again, small town USA, high school football, doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, let's check in even with more of them right now, as I believe we got Jessa standing by with another sideline report.
Taking a break here on the sidelines. Thanks to Dale's Heating and Air Conditioning for this break. I'm joined by another one of our proud high school football supporters. This is Bill Teagham, owner of Little Strokes in Wanakee. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks, Jessa. How are you?
I'm great. A little chilly, but it's worth it. What a great game. Now, I want to highlight for viewers at home, Bill is later going to be giving away the defensive player of the game, the MVP award, because he's a great supporter of local athletics. But if your kids aren't in football, swimming is another great way to really teach kids a lot about discipline learning and, of course, an important skill. So just a brief overview of what you do at Little Strokes.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of ironic. Maybe it was for a reason that we did the defensive player of the game award. You know, defensive is everything with in terms of swimming at the youth level, and really any level. I mean, you have to be careful. You know, the water can be so much fun, but it can also be a pretty scary place. And if you can't swim, you know, you can't really enjoy the water. And so like that's really where quality swim lessons come in. You know, I can't say enough about our professional instructors and like what they can do with the kids. But you know, we teach the 4 competitive strokes from an early age, and we really get these kids swimming well. So.
And I read actually that the #1 cause of death among children under 4 is by accidental drowning. And how young do you start your swimming lesson?
They start at 6 months. Sometimes we cheat a little bit. Some parents are eager to get their 4 or 5 month old in, and that's fine. Progress is a little bit slower at first. We don't like to be too aggressive with it right off the bat. But once they learn to recognize that the water's getting closer and that they're about to submerge, we go deeper and deeper. It's baby steps at first, but they can really learn how to swim before they can walk. So
an important skill. And for folks at home, enrollment is really coming up soon. Anytime. What's the best way to get in?
Yeah, it's really ongoing. We're currently registering for our Fall 2 session. We're getting pretty close to full. So if you have any interested in swimming, in November and December, give us a call.
Great time to get in the water. Again, this is Bill Teagham with Little Strokes Swim Academy in Wanakee. Stick around because he's going to give away the Defensive MVP Award after the game, and we'll get back to that game right now.
And thank you, Jessa. Yeah, we do have some hardware to give away after the game tonight. In fact, Mark and I were talking about it up here in the press box. I think we have our defensive MVP. We'll see who's going to be able to take it home on offense, as we want you to stick around for that, as Baraboo right now using their timeouts as they got one more left, and why not? 3:45 left in the game, still a 2-score football game.
Get a chance to get the ball back and try to put some more points on the board in the last 3.5 minutes here.
3rd and long coming up here for the Eagles. We'll see if they put the ball in the air or not, as they will, as Schaff is able to corral the football on the short pass, and then a flag is thrown, and it looks like it might be marched off against the Eagles or just declined right there. 5th catch of the night for Bryant Schaff, a short gainer, as he's got 22 yards receiving right there. That penalty is waved off, as it was another courtesy forward flag, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Baraboo, by the way, is going to burn their final timeout of the night. So let's step away. A U-Break I-Fix timeout, 30-14 Sauk, with 3:38 left in the game on 57 Sports. Next week, we are going to be in Verona in the Big 8 Conference, our last look at it, and we'll take a look at one of the best football teams in the state of Wisconsin, Sun Prairie at Verona, the Dane County Bowl, coming up next week on 57 Sports. We still have some business to settle here as a punt and another muffed punt. This time it's Baraboo doing the muffing but falling on the football as Weck at the 10-yard line. So 90 yards to go for Baraboo. They are out of timeouts. They need to get a score, a 2-point conversion, the onside kick, which they almost got one of those tonight, then another score and another 2-point conversion just to tie this game up. Hey, stranger things have happened.
But it's a little anathema to their offense. You know, their offense is more rushing. They're not known for throwing. They started to get that rushing attack going before the last turnover there, and just not sure that they have the arsenal to do it in the time remaining.
Turkington looks like he's going to try to put the football in the air. 4 wide receivers and 1 back as he looks to the right side. Pass is complete, and getting out of bounds after the quick hitter is Dylan Bargains.
You talked a little bit about the Big 8, Rich, coming up. You know, it's getting towards the end of the season there at the beginning of the year. We thought a couple of the Madison teams were going to be sneaking up to maybe put some pressure on the usual suspects in the Big 8. But when you look at it now, Sun Prairie's 7-0, ranked second in the state. Middleton's 6-1. And there's Verona lurking at 5-2. And again, next week, the 7-0 Sun Prairie Cardinals take on the 5-2 Verona Wildcats.
Yeah, big game right there as that's a battle of playoff teams as Turkington – he lost faith in his protection and then is driven down on a Green Bay Packers give-back sack as a Green Bay Packers, a big thank you to them for sponsoring us for the 2nd year in a row. Go Pack, go. Clock continues to run as we are now just about at 3 minutes here, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 and a flag, and I'm not sure that everybody was set or there was some early movement, but a pre-snap flag and 5 yards being marched off against the Eagles. Check that against the Thunderbirds.
Well, the Thunderbirds are going to make some hay next year with their offense, and again, they only have 2 or 3 contributing seniors on the offensive side of the ball. Their rushing, their offensive linemen and their running is pretty solid. They need to work on their passing, pass protection. If that comes around, they could be a dangerous offense.
3rd down and 11, passes incomplete, thrown off to the left side and off the mark was Turkington. It's going to bring up 4th and 11 with 2:43 left. And at this point with no timeouts, I got a feeling Baraboo's just got to go for it here.
You know, sometimes here with the score what it is, they might punt it away and just make sure that Eagles, if they're going to score again, that they have to earn it here. But I wouldn't fault them for running, for going for it.
Yeah, you got to try to win the game. I think this is the right call. Turkington going to loft it way out there, and it's through the hands of Ben German. Actually, I think the sophomore defensive back did the right thing. You catch the ball there, it could be almost as good as a punt. You drop the ball, and they got to bring it all the way back to the 9-yard line.
Right, and that probably was going through his head. He was just making sure that it didn't get bobbled and the receiver somehow come up with it and just kind of let it go to the ground there, and they take over at the, 8-9-yard line.
Your instinct is to get your 2nd pick of the night. I think he wanted it.
Yeah.
There's probably a big part of him that said, just catch that football. But in retrospect, he did the right thing. So 2:37 left, and it looks like Sauk Prairie's going to win this football game, and good for them and good for their fans and everybody that's shown up here tonight. They have been amazing. Incredible crowd, great energy from the start of this football game. The band was terrific, the choir as well as give us a Jorgensen for a modest gain on 1st down. So just an impressive night. And I think the thing, too, that's blown me away is the fact that Sauk hasn't been in the playoffs in 10 years, a lot of losing seasons in a row, had a coaching change days before the season started here, but the energy of the fans, you would never know it.
Right, and we didn't even talk about that, Rich. So what had happened was the head coach here, just before the season started, got offered a different teaching position in another school district and had to move his family. And so he left the program right before the season started. And this team and coaching staff kind of got the rug pulled out from under them for no fault of their own. And Coach Schutt stepped up, his coaching staff stepped up, and these players kept their chins up and forged ahead. And they're going to get their 2nd win here. But that couldn't have been an easy adjustment.
Yeah, that had to be a real difficult decision to make as the give goes to Jorgensen once again. As Jorgensen now, he hasn't gotten a lot of yards, but as far as yardage goes here tonight, he's far and away the leader on combined yards. 17 carries, 35 yards, just over 2 yards a pop, but also 6 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown for Elijah Jorgensen here tonight.
And he's just an athlete. You can see out there. He's not the biggest kid in the world. He's a senior, 5'8", 175 pounds. But he can move with the ball. He's got some good quickness and agility, get the ball on the outside, and he's got a nose for the end zone as well.
So timeout on the field. Bucko forward left. We will go ahead and tick it off when we get back as you're watching the Sauk County Bowl on 57 Sports. Taking a look at that Sauk Prairie huddle, and they got to be excited tonight as they're going to get their second victory of the season, and it comes on homecoming against one of their rivals in Baraboo.
Well, at the beginning of the season, all teams put up the goals that they want to accomplish, and one of the first goals that you have is to win that homecoming game. So regardless, especially for these seniors, it's a happy way to end your season. You're not going to be going to the playoffs, but at least you can celebrate a happy homecoming your senior year.
Strange formation here now is on 3rd and 5. You have a stack of 3 wide receivers off to the near side. Jorgensen and Everett are in the backfield. The give's going to be to Jorgensen straight up the middle. He gets a couple of more yards on the night. His 18th carry, he is up to 37 yards, but it's going to bring up 4th down now. And I don't know, I would think if you're Sauk Prairie, maybe you take a knee here. I'm not sure what you try to do. They're going to go with that same formation.
That's known as the lonesome polecat. Jerry Rice made that famous down at Mississippi Valley State in the 80s.
Huh. Very interesting. Clock continues to move. The lonesome polecat.
They would actually have 4 receivers lined up to the left. Jerry Rice would be by himself to the right. One-on-one coverage over there. He'd burn them all day long.
Wow. And it is a knee that is taken by Everett. I think that's the right thing to do. 18 seconds left in the game, make it 17. Sauk Prairie is going to win, as I'm not sure why the Sauk Prairie kids started running off the field. They still got to wait for the rest of this clock. That's a team that's just not used to winning too much.
So they're excited about getting to the homecoming dance.
Right.
And there's a penalty. Yeah, I saw a flag go way up in the air.
All right, let's see what happens here on a courtesy forward flag. There is one down on the field, and not sure what happened. There were a lot of guys out on the field running around. Look, I think they thought the clock was going to keep running, but on a change of possession, it stops. So let's see what the penalty is here. It's going against Baraboo. I'm not sure what they did. Did you see the call?
I think they had too many men on the field.
Wow.
And again, I think you're right, Rich. I think they thought the clock was going to run down. They started walking out on the field. They had like 20 guys out there, and then the rest just said, hey, get back on the sideline. We have 16 ticks to play.
It was really disjointed. Baraboo's going to go ahead and finish this game off right now. 16 seconds left in it. Give's going to be to Weck straight up the middle. He goes nowhere. That's apropos. Sauk Prairie a winner tonight. They use special teams and defense. Big plays in a flurry of scoring to start the second half to win this one by the final of 30-14. Sauk Prairie our winner. And Mark, I understand, again, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things as far as what happens. There's no playoff implications or what have you. But for these kids tonight, it's got to feel great to get that victory.
It certainly does. It's your first conference win in the Badger North, a homecoming victory for the seniors, and just a good momentum, good for the soul to have a victory on Friday Night Lights in front of your homecoming crowd.
Time for our Jacobson Brothers plays of the game. And Mark, we have some ground to cover, a lot of big plays in the Sauk Prairie win tonight, as they got started on offense. And look at this play by Seth Patterson to steal the ball from a defender.
A chance at Baraboo to make a game momentum turning play, and it actually comes up to Sauk Prairie there.
And then a fumble on the ensuing drive. Baraboo turned it over. Quick hitter to Jorgensen. Into the end zone he goes. Elijah Jorgensen with the touchdown right there. Baraboo would strike back as Bloom would score. We had a 7-7 game at halftime, and really it was very competitive. A turnover here. This one didn't hurt Baraboo all that much as it happened right at the end of the first half, but this started to hurt. A safety, that's what got some of the scoring going. That made it 9-7. On the ensuing kick, a return for a touchdown, and then the route was on.
It was. That first 5 minutes of the third quarter was all Sauk Prairie Eagles as they scored on a safety, a punt return, a pick six, and then an offensive score as well. And just like that, the game was out of reach.
Breinig with the return on the kick, and then here is German scoring on the pick six. Sauk Prairie scored 16 points in a matter of a couple of minutes, and then Dawson Everett goes in for the touchdown here. Sauk Prairie able to pull away as Baraboo would add a late touchdown, but the final 30-14, and you got to feel good for Sauk Prairie winning on homecoming here tonight.
Absolutely. They get their first conference win. They get a homecoming victory for their seniors, and a great way to walk off on Friday Night Lights in front of a great atmosphere, great homecoming crowd.
Yeah, and time for us to give away some trophies. You ready to go do that?
Let's go do it.
Let's do it. All right, we got the offensive and defensive MVPs and the big trophy presentation coming up next, right here from the Sauk County Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress and 57 Sports.
Go for it. Welcome back to the A1 Furniture Sauk County Bowl. I don't even know if we're going to get this award out. These guys are so excited. We're going to give away our first MVP award. As you can see, we've got Sauk Prairie Eagles who have defeated Baraboo in quite the game. We've got a great defensive MVP award to give away, much in thanks to Little Stroke Swim Academy in Wanakee.
I'm going to give the award here to Bill. He's the owner of Little Strokes. He's going to present the award.
Hey, Ben, congratulations. This is Ben German from Sauk Prairie.
Thank you.
Six picks tonight. Holy smokes. Six picks, right?
Pick
Pick
six.
six.
Pick six.
Pick six. Hey,
About
pick
six,
six.
but
All
pick
right.
six. Pick six.
Pick six. I'm sorry. All right. I'm not a sports announcer, folks. Anyway, winning defensive MVP tonight. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a team effort.
Coming up next, most valuable offensive player of the game, thanks to Brunzell Lumber. We'll do that coming up next, right after this break. You're watching 57 Sports.
Group of Eagles thanks to their recent win here at the Sauk County Bowl. Lots of fun tonight. We just gave away the defensive MVP award thanks to Little Stroke Swim Academy, an offensive MVP award to give away to number 11, I understand, 76 yards and a touchdown. Not bad. Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so here's the award right here, and this is going to Elijah Jorgensen. Again, congratulations on some great plays tonight. This is on behalf of Brunzell Lumber. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, coming up after the break, we have the Bowl Trophy to award thanks to A1 Furniture. It's going to this winning team, the Sauk Prairie Eagles. We'll be right back.
If you're just tuning in, We've got Sauk Prairie Eagles just defeating Baraboo in quite a game. We've had some fun tonight. Coach, we're about to present you with quite the award after quite the game here at your homecoming, so I'll let Janet do the honors.
I think this is a two-fisted job here, if you can grab this on with me. This is thanks to A1 Furniture. This is the Sauk County Bowl Trophy. Congratulations, Coach Shutt, to you and your Sauk Prairie Eagles.
Thank you very much.
Well done. We're going to turn these questions over to Mark and Rich, ask you a few questions.
Yeah, and Coach, congratulations. A big win on homecoming. That had to feel good. But you did it tonight in quite an unconventional way. It seemed like tonight it was all about defense and special teams.
Yeah, it was about that, and it was about streaks. You know, we came out hot in the first quarter, had some struggles in the second quarter, and then just got on fire in the third quarter. A couple outstanding plays by Bryant Schaff, I think, got us going early, and great team play across the board, I would say.
Coach, we talked earlier about the tumultuous start to your season, but what does this mean, this win, for you, your coaching staff, and everything you've been through, and obviously your players as well?
It means everything. I mean, we beat Baraboo, we got the Mega Bowl. What more can you say? That means it all.
Going forward now, what can we expect from your team, Coach?
We'll just keep playing hard and try to win every play we can.
Love it. Hey, big win tonight for Sauk Prairie. They win the Sauk County Bowl. Final score here tonight. You took it off the scoreboard? Really? Final score here tonight, 30-14. Sauk Prairie winner on homecoming. They get the trophy, they get all the hardware, and they get all the congratulations. Excellent night. Great crowd here tonight as well. A lot to be proud of for this team. Absolutely love being out here. For Mark Martinez, for Janet Crescent, for Jessa Jeremiah, Eric Rogers, everybody else out here, we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week right here on the A1 Furniture and Mattress Bowl Series on 57 Sports.